Good morning, my little couch potatoes, and welcome back to the comfiest courtroom on the internet. Sorry, hold on, my mic needs to adjust here. I'm your host, Llama, and it's time for dramatic testimony, overruled objections, and absolutely unqualified opinions. Lord, do we have a lot of those on Friday. So grab your snuggiest blanket, some delicious snacks, and get ready to watch court with your internet besties. This is Couch Court with Llama. Now, today, I don't have a morning co-host today. Our usual is about to have a baby any day now. So maybe she'll be around to visit us later. But for now, you get me. I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I did. Let's say hello to everyone. Oh, look at that. Elbow Feet was first in chat today. Oh, he's so nice. And then JT. Good morning, JT. Good morning, Lady in Gray. Oh, and there she is. Our little Miss Annie. I hope she's resting up and laying in bed right now. Good morning, babe. Good morning, 80s. Good morning, everybody. So, again, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And anybody that's a mother in any way, shape, or form, I hope you all had a wonderful and relaxing day yesterday. Good morning, Terry. I did. I took the day off, which was nice. I didn't even open a computer. And Elbow Feet and Little Llama and I went to go see the Thunderbolts. This has nothing to do with court, so prepare yourselves. And if you haven't seen it, I'll try not to give spoilers, but I'm pretty much going to. Because I think everyone needs to see this movie, whether you're a Marvel superhero fan or not. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Somebody with good taste in pink sent it to me. I think it was you. Oh, thank you, Annie. And you are in bed. Good. Rest up, girl. So anyway, so we went to go see the Thunderbolts. And we're big Marvel fans. And this one was so good because they showed something. I freaking bawled my eyes out during this movie. And I wasn't expecting to, right? I just thought, oh, this is going to be a lot of action and all that stuff. And one of the characters in it has bipolar disorder, even though they don't outright say that. It's exactly what it is from the other words that they say. And when he gets his superpowers, he has a manic persona for one, and then the depressive persona for the other one. And really the whole movie is about battling depression, and it's so good. And they did it in such a way that, like, if you've ever been down in the depths of despair before, it is very hard to convey to other people what that experience it is like, how to relate it to how others can understand it. And let me tell you what they did, and it was powerful, and it was so good. And the phrase "you are not alone" was really the motto of this whole movie. And it was brilliant, and I loved it. And I'm so glad we went and saw it. Like, if it didn't cost a bazillion dollars to go see a movie, I'd probably go see it again a few times in the theater. So I can't wait for it to come out. Anyway, so that's what I did with my weekend. It was very enjoyable, very relaxing. So we're here for Karen Reed today, day 14. I do have court up. The jury's not supposed to be until 10, but if the attorneys want to talk about anything, it'll pop up. So we might start early, we might start late. We don't know because it's Monday. Anyway, but what we will be continuing with is Sergeant Yuri Buchanek on the stand. That freaking guy. If you didn't catch the show Friday, it made me very angry. I was baffled. I could not believe this guy and what he was saying, and the fact that he's still in charge of homicide. There are no words for this guy. We also got my only favorite part of his testimony is that he had to read these text messages between Karen and Brian Higgins. It was so cringy, you guys. It was so bad. How embarrassing for them. It was so bad. It was a little flirting, and then there definitely was some sort of hookup of some kind, and Karen ghosted him, basically. Oh, it was so cringe, wasn't it? Oh, now I know why we invented that word. Well, why the younger kids invented that word. Because that's exactly what it was. So that's what we'll be picking up today. I think because Buchanan, he's been on the stand since what, Thursday afternoon? No, maybe since Thursday morning. Hmm. Anyway, he's been on there since at least Thursday. Friday, it was cross all day. He sat in that chair all day with Alan Jackson. And it's going to be cross again this morning. And because he wanted to dick around, he lives there now. He does live there now. Oh, and nobody's going to pay good prices to sit in that seat. That's for sure. So he decided to dick around answering his questions and pulling a Jen McKay, being like, I need to see that report. I don't know. I don't know whose name is on that. Like it was ridiculous. And by dicking around like that, he gave Alan Jackson 2.5 days to come up with more questions to rewatch his testimony. And I think that Jackson is going to keep him on probably all morning. Because see, so I I didn't watch the first trial, but from what Chat and my friends have told me, and this trial has told us that the lead investigator is disgraced former trooper Michael Proctor, and it looks like prosecution has zero intentions of calling him to the stand for probably good reason, because he sounds like a scumbag. Um, but so instead of calling the lead detective, they're like, we'll just use Yuri because Yuri was who his superior. And it's not going well. It's not going well for the prosecution at all. Um, Good morning, Sam. Good morning. Oh, and his smirking when he was being difficult. Oh, this guy. And I think he's still going to come back on the stand and be cocky as ever this morning. And, sir, you have nothing to be cocky about. Nothing. All right. What an embarrassing. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I can't believe these people still have jobs. Again, they're either covering something up or they're completely incompetent. Either way, how do these people still have jobs? I don't know. All of us are overqualified to work for the Massachusetts State Police, apparently, because we know how to, write things down. I mean, dude didn't even write, he didn't even write his own stuff on when he put it in the evidence bag. And he couldn't remember which of the four people filled it out for him. We all know it was disgraced former trooper Michael Proctor and his third grade handwriting. We all know it, but he wouldn't admit it. He was like, well, I don't know who it is. And remember, he's a detective. Like, you really, they just don't want to admit how horrible of a job MSP does. And it's not just with this case, you guys. There are other cases coming to light where this same sort of bullshit has been going on. Like, this has, and I understand that some people think this is a cover up, and sure, maybe. But they're incompetent. They all need to go. This is embarrassing. And, I understand some people may be like, well, she's guilty. That's all that matters. Who cares? Who cares if the investigation isn't great and they made mistakes? No, we should care. Okay, because that's not how the justice system works, right? We're not there to determine, or the prosecution, the state, the government can't just be like, oh, we think she's guilty, and that be enough. That shouldn't be enough for anybody, really. They need to prove that somebody did what they did, and not just a belief that it happened. That's not how anything should work, and for good reason. So, oh, it's going to be a day, you guys. It's going to be a day. I feel like I'm going to get fired up again. I used a lot of cursey words on Friday. Like a lot. I'll try not to use so many, but it really is. It's infuriating and it's insulting because this officer, along with some of the others, just thinks, oh, you know what? The people are stupid. literally everyone sees through this BS, every single person, and they are just doubling down, and it's ridiculous. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Sam, for saying I look amazing in pink. Miss Terry True Crime sent me this shirt a while ago when she found out I didn't have any pink in my closet. I did not paint my nails pink. They're still blue, but I will paint them. They're still in good shape, so I didn't want to take them off yet. But when I do, I will use your pink nail polish, Terry. Oh, there you go. You got the video working? Oh, did you have to press refresh? Because that sometimes happens to me. I heard that it was a much return to what Marvel's always wanted to be. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The last time we went to the movie theater was to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Mom, and it was on Mother's Day, and it was horrible. And we haven't been to the movie theater since because, like, meh. It was so good. It's worth seeing in the theater. And again, like I said, if you've ever suffered from depression, you're gonna cry. You're just gonna cry your eyes out. So, ooh, we got the ceiling fan going. Is our ceiling fan going? It's very warm in here. Well, the humidity, really. So, yeah, that's what we'll be doing today is Mr. Yuri on the stand. You know, and watching his testimony and seeing all the investigation, because you guys, one of the things he said, which is, we'll just rehash Friday, because one of the things he said was, you know, they found the pieces on the road. They didn't call the search and rescue people or emergency responder people. They didn't call them to come back and excavate the yard. But in like several days later, the police chief of Canton is driving by and he spots a piece of red taillight. Somehow driving in the car, he spots it in the yard. Yuri goes and just collects it. No pictures, nobody with him. He doesn't know how to plot anything. His words. He's like, I don't know. I don't know what plotting is. Okay. So basically and then he just put all the pieces in the bag. He didn't say like how big each piece was. It was so bad, you guys. It was so bad that in my opinion, it doesn't even matter if it matches Karen's tail light at this point. There's too many things that could have happened in that like there is a reason why there are protocols and procedures for collecting evidence, and these people apparently don't know how to do that. So that's played a huge issue for me of like, well, I can't find anything you say reliable or trustworthy, and I don't think I want to take your evidence collecting into consideration. It's crazy. I mean, they just threw all of John's wet clothes in a bag. What a mess. What a mess. So to me, it doesn't even matter at this point whether Karen did or didn't do it. The investigation, lack thereof, and the methods they went about it. No. Just no. No, it's not right. Because remember, if we let that happen to Karen, it can happen to any one of us. And it does. This shit goes on all of the time, you guys. This is not this one little task force got things wrong. No, it's a real thing and a real problem. So I am very much looking forward to today. Excuse me. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you like this video so everyone knows we're live and to come hang out with us, because I'm sure I'm going to do some rants. And if you are watching, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live. We will be taking a lunch break during court's lunch, where we will, just like the last 2 weeks, today's midday missing day. So we will end when the court goes to lunch. We will redirect you to go watch Terry True Crime on Midday Missing. And then we will redirect you back to our afternoon session when court comes back after lunch. And guess what, you guys? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to press any buttons. We'll just take you there. So just stay in for the ride, and it'll be a good time. Oh, thank you, JT, for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes. I missed last night. I missed all the fun stuff they did on the courtyard this weekend. So, me and many people in the chat run a Discord server called the Courtyard where we talk true crime. We have, case documents. We do fun things that aren't true crime, like watching different shows. This weekend, Saturday, they got together and played Among Us, which I heard was a really fun time. I had work stuff to do, so I couldn't. And then Amos streamed the new Dateline episode about Brian Koberger. So definitely join the Courtyard. We're there when we're not live on here. You can usually find everyone in chat in there chatting away. Oh, good morning, Mama Llama. Good morning. Also, let's see, what else do we have going on this week? I do remember them saying it was going to be a full week of court, regular times, except for today. So that's great. Um, oh, there, at some point this week, John's niece and nephew will be testifying, and the judge already ordered, because they're juveniles, it will not be recorded, no audio, no video. So whenever that happens, we'll probably just go back and watch some old testimony from the first trial and keep an eye of when they come back. I don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully it's not today because I'm not really prepared to do that today. But at some point we'll do like a rewatch probably to entertain ourselves. That's a Bev decision I can back. Yeah, and that's totally normal. Um, some courts do audio, but most it's just no. And I think that's exactly how it should be. As a matter of fact, I don't even think these kids even need to testify in this trial at all. I don't really know what they could contribute to what Karen's frame of mind when she thinks John's missing from the house. What, are we going to hear more of how she's hysterical and screaming? I mean, okay, we already have had enough people to tell us that. And, oh, that's right, there's a reason. So, I mean, I think the kids are just there to pull on heartstrings of the jury, and I don't think that's right. Because sometimes, most of the time, kids, I don't think we need them to testify. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. But I don't think that this is one of those times. But I do appreciate Bev protecting the children because those poor kids, oh my gosh, they're orphans. Both their parents died within a month of each other. And then John took care of them, and then their uncle died. Mm. Oh, that's so tough. I hope they're doing well in their life. I think John's brother is raising them along with his kids. I'm not sure, but jeez. Let's see. Yeah, Lady in Gray says they'd rather not have the kids testify at all. I mean, yeah, I agree. And yeah, they're just going to talk about how they fought. Like, okay, and I mean, the prosecution still has me wondering, like, second degree murder is off the table for me. Off the table. It's not even an option in my book anymore. I mean, neither are the other charges because the evidence is not legit. But here we are. We still got, what is this? Is this week 3 or 4? Hold on, let me do some math. It started on the 22nd, so week 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're at 4. This is 4 weeks. We're starting week 4, so halfway through the trial. I wonder if prosecution's going to ramp up this week. If they're not calling Proctor, there's a good chance prosecution might rest their case this week, which is not a good idea, but they aren't doing a great job anyway. Oh, goodness. And then what? Thursday is True Crime and Wine Time, and I'll be on this week with Terry, and we're going to be talking about Inside the Mind of a Necrophile, the Karen Greenlee story. You guys, it's going to be a very disturbing episode. It's so weird. It's so weird, but that'll be Thursday at 9 p.m. Um, I look forward to being on that. There's going to be some role playing, so if that encourages you to join in, it's going to be a lot of cringy faces. Just really like, ooh, you thought those text messages were cringe? Getting into the side getting into the mind of a necrophile is something. It's something. So yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yikes. Um, oh, thank you. Maybe go for the vodka instead of wine. Vodka, and then afterwards, just a hot shower is what everyone's going to want to take. Like, oh, or a cold one, I guess. But I don't know. I think you need the hot to get the dirt off of you because it's gross. Wondering what your Google's. Oh, girl, not great, not great. Because you know me, I go down all these rabbit holes, and it's my Google searches is not great after this weekend. No, yeah, no, it's yeah. Oof, Jen, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's that bad, but I'm not a Jen fan. But yeah, so that's what we have going this week. Oh yeah, and in the courtyard, I saw they were doing more stuff this week, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because hopefully I can join in on Among Us this. I think they're playing Among Us again. Uno momento, please. Couch Court with Llama. That's me. Oh, tomorrow they're watching Pushing Daisies, episode 3 and 4 together. That's fun. Oh, yes, there is an Among Us game night Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, they're watching Burden of Proof, which I have not seen before. It's an HBO doc. Let's see what this is about. We're hosting a watch party for Burden of Proof, a true crime documentary that follows Stephen Pandos as he investigates the decades-old disappearance of his sister Jennifer. His search for answers leads to shocking revelations, family conflicts, and unexpected twists. Oh, I've never heard of that before. I'll probably join in on that one. All right. Well, look at that. That's going to be a fun week in the courtyard, too. We got all sorts of stuff going on this week, you guys. Love that for us. So be sure to join the Discord so you can hang out with us on the weekends and in the evenings. You know what? So I got a new phone a while back, and I don't like it. JT says, here's the thing about the courtyard. Whatever is happening, the company is second to none. So join up with us and have some fun. That's true. I'm so lost on Among Us. I haven't played in a while, but it's really easy to get into once you've played a couple of times. Like it's a simple game. When is Pushing Daisies? Tuesday at, hold on. My computer is a little slow when I'm live. It's like, you're trying to go too fast, Llama. Don't do it. It's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I got this new phone and it does this thing now where it likes to send me every Sunday a summary of my phone usage. It's called digital well-being, I guess. And guess what? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't need it telling me how long I spend on Discord. Okay. And they were like, oh, you were down X amount of hours this week. It was still embarrassing. It was still an embarrassing amount of hours of how much time I spend there. So, and then it was like, fine, I'll tell you guys because we're all besties. Apparently last week I spent about 20 hours on Discord and another 10 hours on Reddit total. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. We had a lot of fun this weekend. Definitely come stop by if you need help. We don't mind teaching you or showing you how things work. That's very true. If you're a Discord noob, I know it's weird at first, but anyone's willing to help you in there. It's the great thing about it. I mean, you're working. Oh, no, babe, though. That was on my phone. That was on my phone. I don't have my phone out. I don't even know where my phone. Oh, there it is. I don't even check my phone when I'm live ever. I was like, oh, I think I don't remember the time that they were like, "You're down so many hours this week. Good job." And I was like, how about you quit telling my business to myself? Okay? I don't like it. Exactly, Sam. Stop being all in my business. All right? You're just a phone. I can't imagine your search record. Yeah. Oh, it's not great. It's not great. Oh, another thing we'll be doing this week, I'm gonna finish it tonight, but one of the things we're gonna be putting out this week is a survey, a feedback survey for this show. I think we're gonna do them for all of our shows here on with TCWT Media. But I'm gonna have like a feedback survey of like where we should go with this show. After Karen wraps up, what do we want to do next? So that'll be coming out tomorrow or Wednesday. And if you all could give your feedback, I can't tell you how important it is, because I want to make sure that I'm doing what you guys find entertaining, because maybe not a lot of people like what I like. So I'm here for you guys. And so, yeah, if you can give us your feedback when that does roll out, it'll be super helpful. It'll be super helpful. If you use a Mac, it will sync with your Apple phone. That's too much. I don't need to know that much about myself. I don't need to know that much about myself at all. I already know about my bad habits. That's why I won't get one of those track my steps. So what? It can yell at me and be like, move, bitch. Get off the couch. Get off the couch. I'm just kidding. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, yeah. It was basically like that. It was like, you've been 2 hours less active on your phone. But I'm like, okay, but I'm still on my phone a lot, so. Oh, the tattletale cars. I mean, we did when we got insurance, and I was like, this is the one time where I'm like, yeah, track how much I don't drive around. That would be great, because I don't want to pay that much. I don't go anywhere. Right? You don't know me. I think it does know us, but sometimes I like to trick it and not click ads and stuff. Like, no. Your co-pilot told you today you were more snarky last week. Oh gosh, I could only imagine what my because don't some of them track like your blood pressure and stuff. I can only imagine what mine was on Friday. Is this case is something. Y'all weren't wrong. It was like, Llama, you need to watch the Karen retrial. You're gonna lose your mind. And I hear this isn't even as bad as the first one. So I'm perplexed about this whole thing. Not a fan. Oh, sorry. But yeah, let's pull the fan up. Let's see. Oh no, it's just still the fan. We're good. Make sure I don't have it muted. Oh, I do have it muted. See, Llama, get it together. Get it together. Imagine a snark meter. Oh my. Is my video laggy? Or is it just me? Am I laggy today? I don't know why it would be. I'm going to close that window. I'm going to close some of these windows just in case, because if there's one thing I'm known for, it's for having too many tabs open, always. Maybe that'll help some. Also, my lighting is crap today, and so the gray mist is eating me. And I don't understand why. But here we are. Okay, I look and sound fine. Okay, good. Just because if I'm glitchy, then the feed is going to be glitchy. And I don't really care if I am, but I don't want that. Oh, we got noises, guys. Somebody has snacks.
Did.
You are unmuted. Okay. What are we on day 14? Oh, look at that, 10 o'clock. On the dot. I
All
ain't
right,
messing
good
around
morning.
today. Good morning, Bev.
I came into 3 motions
Oh,
that I did not have when I checked email before coming to court today.
oh.
So I'll hear you quickly on these. I've had a chance to read them. So, Mr. Brennan, I'll hear you. Let's today focus on the Bowden ones. We can focus on the other one later.
My motion, the memorandum on Bowden, just iterates my objections continuously at sidebar, that not all evidence is admissible, characterization of evidence is not admissible, and the defense should have the ability and intention to follow up with substantive proof if they're going to ask a question. It's not limitless. Bowden is wide parameters to ask the investigator about their state of mind, about the scope of the investigation, but it has boundaries of reasonableness. And my earlier objections about offering information that go into beyond Bowden, delve into third-party, inadmissible evidence, those objections are what compelled me to draft this motion. And I can continue and will continue to object during the case, but once the questions are asked, if they're improper, the jury hears them, it inflames the jury. And without a basis and an intention to follow it up with substantive proof, the question should not be asked.
So the one point I want you to focus on, Mr. Brennan, is the specific evidence regarding materials that Sergeant Buchanan has not been able to look at.
You want me to?
Is that something we can do here in open court, or based on the protective order, is that something that should be done at sidebar?
Sidebar.
All right, why don't you come up, Mr. Jackson?
You could just call disgraced former trooper Michael Proctor, but no. I don't know exactly what they're arguing, but I think Bowen is a case they're referencing, maybe. Basically, it's about not allowing certain questions about the investigation for Yuri. I wonder why that is. But no one's in charge of this case. Remember that, because according to Yuri, you're only a lead if you do 51% or more of the work. So, interesting. Okay, so quickly, we're at a sidebar. Neat. I think it's kind of rude that they must have just filed 3 motions this morning. But, okay. Who do we got in the audience today? Ooh, Paul is not in a suit today. He was in a suit on Friday, which was interesting because he hadn't been, so I don't know. Oh, goodness. Who do we have in there? His mother. His father's not there again. I feel like his dad must have like health issues or something. Is that why he's not there that often? He looked older. Also, Angie had shared a photo of, oh gosh, I don't know if I can find it. I'll look for it later for sure. But she shared a photo of what it looks like from John's mom's perspective, like what the jury's sitting in. And the jury has the same chairs that the prosecution team is sitting in, which I find hilarious because that means that the defense brought their own chairs. They're like, we're not sitting in these leather bound, no armrest chairs for 8 weeks. We're bringing our own chairs. I don't know if they actually did do that, but that's what it looks like to me. But yeah, it looks like they have some of the most uncomfortable jury chairs. Like, why do you have no armrests? Ugh, it'd be so uncomfortable. Oh, Angie is sending me, tagged me in the courtyard for un momento. Oh, okay. Angie just put in the courtyard in the Karen Reed file. This is the Commonwealth motion Hank brought up. It is to preclude inadmissible hearsay under the guise of a Bowden defense. Okay. Evidence that certain tests were not conducted, that certain police procedures were not followed, or that certain information known to the police about another suspect was not investigated in circumstances in which it was reasonable to expect the police should have conducted some tests. However, defendant does not have an unfettered right to elicit evidence regarding the adequacy of the police investigation. Okay. So, okay, and you guys, not a legal expert or a lawyer, but it seems to me that he's wanting the defense to not bring up all the stuff that they didn't do. You know, the lack of protocol or evidence. It seems like to attack the adequacy, the attack is still constrained by the rules of evidence. Okay, so Bowden is the case which preserves a defendant's right to attack the adequacy of the police investigation. That attack is still constrained by the rules of evidence. Okay, nothing in the Bowden case authorizes a defendant to introduce otherwise inadmissible of hearsay. So what Brennan said at the beginning, is they can only bring up the evidence that's in the case. Brennan only wants them to be able to criticize the evidence that was allowed to be in the courtroom, right? So, like, not all evidence is allowed in trial, right? They have evidentiary hearings because there's a certain set of specifications that evidence must, like, qualify or reach before they can be. You can't just throw in whatever you want. That's not how it works. Because, you know, you got to prove where it came from, and there's lots of reasons for it. And people find that particularly maddening because before a case will go to trial, you'll hear all these details, but then in court, you don't hear about them. And that's just because the rules of evidence. Anyway, so Brennan's saying, hey, fine, if they want to question him about the things we do have, fine, but we can't question him. I don't want them questioning about things that they didn't do or they didn't find that we've excluded or didn't exist before we came to trial. I think that's what he's arguing here. Lady in Gray says he's saying Yuri didn't know about the investigation results. Well, in my opinion, the fact that he didn't is an indication of a bad investigation. Yes. Yes. Right. Bowden is the defense saying the investigation wasn't done properly. Correct. Which a defendant has a right to do, which is my interpretation of this Bowden ruling. But it does not authorize a defendant to introduce otherwise inadmissible hearsay. So I guess that's it. Now, why did they have to go to sidebar again? Because of some protection orders, I feel, is what Judge Bove said. What does that mean? Does anybody know? Maybe we'll read over that again later. Oh, the Bowden defense or inadequate investigation defense is a legal argument used. Okay, yes. The argument focuses on the possibility that a thorough investigation might have revealed exonerating evidence and that the police failure to conduct a proper investigation creates reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors. Okay, thank you for explaining that, Angie. So that's pretty much what I was saying. Excuse me. Oh, the federal, I thought it was over. Interesting. Very interesting. Assert that the police investigation was insufficient. Okay. Which, I mean, I guess that probably is part of the defense's strategy, because I feel that the inadequacy of this investigation is enough reasonable doubt for me. So I do see why Brennan has his panties in a bunch over this. So, but it's also like, you snooze, you lose, MSP. Oh, the results of the investigation. Oh, that's because it's under seal, right? Or we just don't have it, or something of that matter. I do think we talked about this at some point last week. Usually I'm really good about remembering things, but being on like 30 plus hours and having so many conversations, it all just kind of blends in together. Oh, Bev ruled that they could use it. Okay. Good morning, RTC. Good morning from Niagara Falls, Canada. Welcome. Good to see you again. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. So happy to have you back. Love that you're here. We're currently at a sidebar because prosecution filed 3 motions this morning. And they're having a sidebar about it. So that pretty much catches you up. That's where we are. I knew I shouldn't have gotten so excited when it was 10 o'clock on the dot and Judge Bev walked in, but here we are. So, excellent. Oh, stupid mouse. Oh, the button's on the side. I don't like it. Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh, look who's here. What a surprise. I was reading stuff. Good morning, Terry.
I have to tell you, the thought of coming in to 3 motions on a Monday morning,
Ew.
Bev wasn't already in a bad mood. That's gonna put her in a bad mood.
She seemed very much not happy about it. Very much not happy and annoyed about it. Like, why would you send these to me? Because what, they had to send them in like an hour ago, probably. Like, and then they
Yeah.
didn't show up early because she did tell them, jury's not coming
Mhm.
until 10, but if you have things to discuss, come in early
She
and we
did.
will. And they
What do you wanna
didn't.
bet that was the first thing she said in the sidebar?
Probably. I would have. I've been like, I've been here all morning.
Yeah,
We
well,
could have
I
talked
popped
about
on to tell you I dreamed about this case last night.
Oh, you did?
I did, 'cause, I listened to Keith Morrison, Dateline, while I'm sleeping,
Yes.
and it was talking about another case, but I kept waking up because I was intermixing that case and this case, and when I
Okay.
got up this morning, I was like, "Okay, did that happen in the real case, or was that the other case?"
Oh gosh, I haven't had a nightmare about this yet.
Yeah, and I don't know
That's not true.
if I would call it a nightmare. It just tells you that I was so worked up on Friday about it. And then last night, I decided to prep for this week. I always like to look on Sunday night what I've got going on this week. And the first thing I see on my calendar is Karen Reed. I'm like, oh, yeah, that goes on top of all of the TikTok holes I went down this weekend.
I know a lot of people shared a lot of TikTok. TikTok's been blowing all this up and it's been amazing. Have you seen the baby one? I forget who shared that
No.
with me. I don't know. It was one, but they're all like AI babies of each of the people in
Okay,
the
I will
case.
go find it.
I don't remember who sent that,
Let's bring in the jury. Will that take a
but
couple
somebody
minutes?
sent it to Terry.
thank
One
you.
of our friends sent
Please.
it.
Rise, please.
It was hilarious and funny. They were just little babies. The voices weren't great, but but it was still very cute.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the amount of people on TikTok who say they live in the area and they have Boston accents or talked about how divided everyone really is in Canton.
I believe I believe it. I understand, especially for the local people, why they are so passionate
Yeah.
about this, because it's bigger than Karen, really.
Mhm.
For them. Well, I'm not a resident there, obviously, but I understand that, this is their own backyard.
Yeah. And the number of them saying that they hope that this retrial will show how incompetent a lot of their police are. And they were talking about I saved the TikToks. They were talking about other cases that have been just as bad in Canton.
Hmm.
So I'm going to look in to see if any are interesting enough to put on our true crime and wine time list.
Oh, I mean, they seem to be piling up.
They, I mean, we're not talking one or two. They were
No.
like naming off one. I was like, oh my, that's corruption. That's not incompetence. I say that and I haven't looked into the cases. I shouldn't be so judgy. Sorry,
That's
co
okay.
pilot. Don't tell me.
That's okay. No, from the ones I've seen, I'm like, oh, wow. I was just reading about one. I think Angie had put it in the courtyard as well. Something about there was some sort of shooting, and guess who showed up? Yuri, who
Yuri.
conveniently found a bunch of bullets in a bush. And where'd she put that? Oh, trial chat, I think is where I saw it. But anyway, pretty much like the same thing. No photos. No, like this is not just poor investigation for just Karen Reed at this point. It's like, oh, this is how you guys truly believe the job is done, knowing damn well that they're trained otherwise. And if they're
Mhm.
not, then we have even bigger problems.
But they do their job with integrity, remember?
Oh, that's right. With honor and
And
integrity.
honor. And if this is how they do their job for a fallen police officer, the rest of the general community, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You're screwed
It's
because
not
if
great.
Karen didn't have the money for that first defense, girl, she would have already been locked up and the key thrown away.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
it's
that
not
is
even
what
because like
scares me.
public defenders aren't good. They are good. They can be
But
very
they don't
good.
have
It's
the
just
money.
they don't have the money and they don't have the time because the case loads are,
Mhm.
huge for them. Yeah, just so many things brought up in this trial alone that I'm kind of glad that the world is really looking at this.
Mhm.
Because especially like we get a lot of police dramas and homicides and TV, right? In the fantasy land where it's like, oh, they do know bad. They know what they're doing. But no, no. And this
No.
department surely should be much better than it is, but it's not.
But I did get to thinking, I wonder how high sales went on red Solo cups since this started on, and
Oh,
how many
probably
people
a
have gone
lot.
out to buy Solo cups.
Probably a lot. I mean, they were already good business in the first place, but oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
So
Really
who do we
great
think will
stuff.
be on after Yuri today? Any
I don't
inside
know.
information? I
Yeah,
couldn't
does
find
any of our
anything.
exers know?
You are
No?
unmuted.
I looked and didn't find any, but I may not be looking for the right people or the right places.
I feel like it's going to be his brother Paul, at least. Right? Is that his name? Yeah, Paul. I think that's his name. I think probably maybe him. A lady in great says, in Massachusetts, a Bowden instruction is a jury instruction that permits jurors to consider the failure of police to conduct certain tests or investigation as evidence, even if that failure.
For the Honorable Beverly Canoni, Justice of the Norfolk Superior Court before the County of Norfolk.
Sorry.
Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now open. You may be seated.
I'm glad that he's back today.
Good
'cause
morning
Friday's
again,
guide was
Council.
not
Good
great.
morning, Ms. Reed. Good morning, Julius. We appreciate your patience this morning. We're trying really hard to cut back on the sidebar conferences, so we spent some time this morning, hopefully paving the way for that to be able to happen. So we do appreciate your.
She does not look
I'd
happy.
like to ask you those questions.
look happy.
Were you all able to follow the instructions and refrain from discussing this case with anyone since we left here?
Looks like she's wearing fuchsia underneath the robe today.
Were you also able to follow the instruction and refrain from
Pink
doing
day.
any independent research or investigation into this case? Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case since we left here for the week? Everyone said no or shook their heads. Thank you. Could we have Sergeant Buchanan again, please? And Mr. Jackson, you can go to the podium.
All right.
How much do you think he drank this weekend after Friday, knowing he had to come back
lot.
today?
Knowing what all I had to drink on Friday because of this guy. All right, Yuri. Oh, coming back in your basic black and white again. That's interesting.
Good morning. All right, Mr. Jackson, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning.
I'd like to ask you, just to start off with, at some point during the course of your investigation, did you become aware that a snowplow driver had reported having seen a Ford Edge being moved into a location in front of 34 Fairview sometime in the early morning hours of January 29th, 2022?
We learned about a plow truck driver.
Welcome,
I
Amos.
don't believe his recollection was as you described, though.
Do you remember him mentioning a Ford Edge?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember him saying that the Ford Edge had been moved? He had passed by, it wasn't there. At some point, he passed by again, and it was there, impeding his plow route.
Yes.
Okay. What is your best memory about when he said he believed the Ford Edge? Sorry, I guess a better way to put it is, when did he say he first saw the Ford Edge in place in front of 34 Fairview?
I don't remember exactly. I know it was during the middle of the night. My not adopting your narrative was the fact that he saw it being moved there.
Understood. I figured that. I clocked that as soon as I said it. He didn't see it moved. He saw it. He saw 34 Fairview without it there. Then about an hour later, it was there.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Would about 3:30 in the morning sound right to you in terms of what he reported, in terms of the time that he saw it there?
It sounds right, but I'm not sure of the exact time. My report would reflect the accurate time.
Fair enough. Let me see if I can grab that report real quick. Let me ask this. Well, it's a very lengthy report. Instead of making you sit there and wait, let me just ask this. Do you remember him saying that he had first plowed the area free of the Ford Edge? In other words, first passed in front of 34 Fairview around 2:30 in the morning? Does that sound right?
I believe his dispatch time for the plowing of the roads that evening was 2:30. But again, I would have to look at my report.
That's fine. And then it was sometime subsequent there too that he saw the Ford Edge in place, maybe an hour later?
Sounds about right. Again,
Okay. Did you take any investigative steps when you learned about this snowplow driver to determine who, if anyone, might have owned a Ford Edge associated with 34 Fairview?
I did not know.
Did your investigation ever reveal that the Albert family actually had a Ford Edge at the time?
Yes.
I want to shift gears for a second
Let's come to the
to
party.
One Meadows, if I could, and ring video evidence associated with One Meadows. You testified that on direct examination that there was no video from Ring at or around the time 12:36 a.m. When Miss Reed's SUV returned back to One Meadows. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
You did receive a search warrant returned from the Ring Corporation in furtherance of a search warrant executed by Trooper Proctor, correct? Former Trooper Proctor.
Evidence was returned by Ring, yes.
And in addition to the actual video recordings, there was also an activity log that was returned associated with that time and that location from the Ring Corporation, correct?
There was a key log identifying each video that was provided by the time and date when the video was recorded. It's not an activity log per se for the account. It's strictly a key describing the video, telling you what time the video was recorded.
During the entirety of your investigation, was there any evidence uncovered at all that Ms. Reed had accessed the account information associated with that Ring account?
No evidence could be provided by Ring documenting that activity.
But there is evidence that someone had accessed the account through John O'Keefe's cell phone, correct?
I am not aware of that.
Are you aware that after John O'Keefe's cell phone was recovered by Massachusetts State Police, someone at Massachusetts State Police actually opened the Ring app on his cell phone?
Yes.
Who is the person who opened and accessed the Ring app on John O'Keefe's cell phone?
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, we know.
May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Not the way you want to start today, Yuri.
Convenient, the one missing Ring video. Been wondering about that. Oh boy. I bet.
To refresh your recollection, to take a look at a
Is disgraced former shipper Michael Proctor?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Maybe I should skip therapy this morning and stick around.
I think he's going to be here for a while today, Terry. Don't worry.
If you could take a look at that 3-page report and tell me if that refreshes your recollection.
His hair's messed up on the side a little bit where they cut his shaved his fade.
Look who else we got. Oh my gosh, it is turning into a party this morning, y'all. It's Buffy. Good morning, Buffy. Let's get the party
Good
started.
morning.
She was like, I am here this week for more
Oh.
of this BS.
I wasn't going to miss this train wreck.
Oh boy, I know, right?
Well, perfect timing, Buffy, because Double H, I need to go tell him bye. Him and my mother-in-law are leaving, and I will be alone for 36 hours.
It's a party. Party at Terry's.
Party at my house.
Awesome. Well, come back whenever you want to. So we'll be here. You know where to find us. Bye, Terry. Party at Terry's house, man. I bet that would be so much fun. Would you read, Yuri?
May I approach,
That
Your Honor?
face says a lot.
Yeah.
Sergeant, having looked at this report, does that refresh your recollection as to who may have accessed that Ring app?
Yes, that report is authored by Michael Proctor, and it says that investigators accessed the Ring application.
Thank you. I want to show you one other document, if I could.
indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've just handed you what purports to
Ohio.
be the search warrant return for the ring, from the ring company, correct?
I got to take a look through all of it.
Of course. Take your time.
Jackson's like, I brought even more receipts with me today because I knew
Yeah.
you were going to be a pain in the ass and asked for all of them.
We need a Jeopardy music to play in the background every time you read a report.
Right? Oh my goodness, sir, you know the answer. So the only person that had access to the ring was John. Karen, no evidence shows that she deleted a video, and the video in question is the exact time she arrives to John's house after leaving
Isn't that
30
strange?
for Fairview. The only person that accessed the ring was the investigator through John's phone. It's crazy. Right, read faster.
Thank you, Sergeant. Have you had an opportunity to review that document?
I have.
Does it indicate that, in addition to several other files, there is a login session report that was produced by the Ring Corporation as well? It's highlighted on that page.
Number 4 is highlighted with one Excel file containing login session information.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. And again, just to make sure I'm very clear about this, nothing from the Ring Corporation suggested or intimated that Ms. Reed actually accessed any of that Ring account information, correct?
The information provided did not indicate that, no.
Thank you. I want to ask you a couple of questions about your testimony on direct examination related to your trip to the hospital and your observation specific to Mr. O'Keefe's right arm. You indicated that you saw bruising on his right arm in addition to the abrasions, the parallel abrasions that you described, correct?
I believe bruising is very similar to abrasion.
Okay, that's my question. Can we, Your Honor, with the court's permission, can we show Exhibit 1? It's already been introduced. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw in terms of the condition of Mr. O'Keefe's arm while at the hospital, if not exactly like this?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What did you mean when you said you saw bruising on his arm? What were you talking about?
I actually indicated bruising on his right hand, the back of his right hand.
Okay, fair enough. From his wrist, when I say arm, can we agree, at least for this purpose for the purposes of this discussion, that I mean from the wrist up to the shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see any bruising from the wrist to his shoulder?
I saw exactly what's depicted there with the abrasions and lacerations.
Okay. You know what lividity is, correct?
I do.
Okay. Describe for the jurors what lividity is.
Lividity is the pooling of blood inside the body as a deceased individual falls or is positioned naturally with gravity. Blood begins to settle in the lowest portions of the body. If you're laying face down, it'd be your face. It also contours to the imprint or the force that's exerted on the body from below. If someone's deceased on TV remote control, you can see the remote control, the buttons underneath from the pressure.
So it's a bluish, purplish discoloration of the skin, not from an impact, but from the pooling of blood after the heart stops, correct?
That's correct.
Do you see an area at the upper arm that the skin looks discolored in addition to the abrasions that we see?
I'm sorry, I was looking at that one.
Oh, sure, I'm sorry, yes. Right up toward the upper biceps, triceps area.
I see that area, yes.
Okay, is that consistent with lividity rather than bruising?
I would not agree with that, no.
You believe that that's a bruise?
I believe that that's a laceration.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about the discoloration of the skin, the reddish purplish hue of the skin, separate and apart from the abrasion, from the abrasions or lacerations to the skin. The discoloration. Do you see that discoloration or no?
I do not know.
You do not?
I do not know.
Okay, we can take that down. As you sit here today, you're not suggesting that you saw bruising from the wrist to the shoulder on John O'Keefe's arm?
Nothing that stood out to me.
Okay.
I observed lacerations and abrasions.
All right, thank you. I want to shift gears one more time and ask you about your trip to Dighton and the seizure of the SUV. You testified that you seized the SUV somewhere, I think your testimony on direct examination was somewhere around 4:15, 4:17, something like that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does 4:12 sound like it could be a reasonable time that SUV was actually seized in Massachusetts State Police custody?
It could be reasonable. I'd have to refer to the video evidence that, and then also the exact time that we advised the defendant that we are going to be seizing it. I guess it could be argued that that's when it was seized. Even we had the intent to seize it right there.
Right. Took the key fob, went outside, had a, pardon me, had a tow truck driver actually put it onto the back of a flatbed. Ultimately, it was transported, correct?
Correct.
And you became aware at some point that there was video evidence, you just referenced it, video evidence of that, I'm going to call it seizure process. Is that right?
Yes.
And that video evidence had a timestamp on it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You're also aware, as the supervisor of Michael Proctor, that he swore under oath in multiple affidavits in support of search warrants that the SUV was seized at 5:30 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And you knew at the time, because you were actually there, and you knew when the vehicle was seized, that stating under oath in an affidavit that it was 5:30 p.m. and not 4:12 p.m., that was a false statement, correct?
There's a discrepancy in time there, yes.
Did you take any action, you yourself as a supervisor, did you take any action to correct that false or misleading state? Let me ask it a different way. Did you take any action to correct that time to the accurate time of 4:12 in any of the affidavits that you became aware of?
No, the actual time of the seizure through the video, we learned much later. So the approximate time, 5:30, although inaccurate, I did not take any action to correct it, no.
And you received that video as a production from the defense. You did not have access to that video, correct?
Yes.
And so at the time that Michael Proctor actually wrote and drafted these affidavits and swore to them under oath, he did not know that a video existed, correct?
Objection.
Sustained, you have to word it differently.
Sure. At the time that you, let me ask it a different way. At the time that you reviewed his declarations under oath, you did not know that a video existed.
No, we did not know.
Ugh.
If I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Sure, your tie is the least of your problems right now.
I want to ask you about something that was brought up on direct examination. Sustained findings as it pertains to you. You've already talked about the fact that, Sergeant, you're a supervisor and were a supervisor back in January of 2022 moving forward over Trooper Proctor, correct?
Yes.
Generally speaking, as a supervisor, your job is to properly and professionally supervise, show some authority over those in your charge. Is that right?
Yes.
Michael Proctor was in fact a trooper in your charge.
Yes.
And you would agree that your supervision has a direct impact on the character and quality of the subordinate investigators that you supervise.
Yes.
The whole point of having supervision and a chain of command is to establish a certain amount of, for lack of a better phrase, quality control of the subordinates.
Yes.
But is he a leader, though?
That would also include quality control over the subordinates' investigations.
Yes.
On August 17th, 2022, you were in a group text with the following individuals: Michael Proctor, Trooper Kukowski, a lieutenant named Fanning, and a trooper named DiCicco, D-I-C-I-C-C-O, correct?
Yes.
DiCicco was his name. Oh. D-I-C-I-C-C-O. D-I-C-C-O. Sorry.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you a document. Can you tell me if you recognize that document?
He looks very deceptive.
I recognize parts of it.
You saw that document on direct examination. I think you were shown the same document, correct?
It was different parts of it, but same. It's inclusive of within this document.
Okay. Let's start with this. You indicated that you did not see Michael Proctor's name on that document, correct?
Correct. His name is not on here.
But you do recognize that as being reflective, accurately reflective of the text chain that you were on August 17th, 2022, that group chat.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do this a little bit backward, but bear with me. You do see the name Kukowski, correct?
I do.
You do see the name Fanning, correct?
I do.
You do see the name DiCicco, correct?
I do.
And you do see the name Buchanan, correct?
No, it's misspelled, but I know they're probably referencing me.
Okay. The only other texter, person texting on that chain, is a code, a lengthy, almost like a URL code with no name, correct?
Yes, you're right.
And
Yes.
the only person that I didn't name, whose name I did not read off, it's obvious on that document, is Michael Proctor, correct?
Correct.
So deductive reasoning tells you that that is, the code is Michael Proctor. Is that right?
I would agree with you, yes.
Okay. In that text chain, it starts with Trooper DiCicco sending a photograph, correct?
No.
May I approach?
Yes.
could turn to page 2683, please.
Was their group chat text?
Yes, it's probably the one after Karen got arrested,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Do you see a photograph there?
That's
Yes, I
my
do.
Okay. Fair enough. There were some texts between and among the group that preceded this photograph, correct?
Yes.
I want to start on this date, August 17, 2022, with this photograph. This photograph was sent by Trooper DeChico to the group, correct?
I don't think this is going to be good.
It's the one of Yannetti when they were talking about
Could it possibly appears that way? I really can't.
or
I mean,
it's the one.
Your Honor, with the
Yes.
court's permission, I'm not sure this document has been marked. I'd like to have this marked and
Sure,
admitted.
we'll mark it for ID.
I'd actually like to have it marked and admitted. There's certain things I'd like to show.
What's the Commonwealth's position on that?
Show
I
us.
have no objection to admission, but not in this form. It needs to be redacted.
Can you do it?
What I intend to do, I can do with one photograph. If I may have a moment with counsel.
Okay.
Oh, I want to see it all.
If it's the text I'm thinking of, is the one where they were going through Karen's phone and they saw that she had contacted Yannetti and they were talking about how much they hated him.
Okay.
Or it's the one where they were talking about how Karen is going down for this or something like that.
Ugh, just
I
wanna
was
read
going
them all.
over all the text messages the other day, but those were Proctor's texts, so I don't know if that's them. But if he
Your
was
Honor,
in
with
that
court's
text chain.
permission, I'd like to publish just one page of what's been marked for identification. I'm sorry, I would ask that it be
Just
marked, the
realizing
entire
that Beth
document be
has
marked for
the-
identification.
Same color
yeah,
cup.
I need this.
It's Exhibit FF for ID.
And with the court's permission, I would ask to display or to publish page 2683 of that document.
So are you admitting into evidence, page 263?
I would
Do you
just,
have a separate one rather than tearing it out of what's been marked for
I can-
identification?
I can take it out of this copy.
Take it out of this coffee. Cece, you're so funny.
And can you redact it before it's admitted, please?
It's been redacted.
Okay.
Exhibit 116.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you. So we're talking about the same thing, Sergeant. I've just handed you a page that's been marked Exhibit 116. Do you recognize that as being a copy of one of the multiple pages in the document that you're holding that's been marked for identification as FF?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we could publish that single page, please.
Okay.
Is that a photograph that was sent by Trooper DeChico to the group?
According to this document, yes.
Who is depicted in that photograph?
The big story, Mr. David Yannetti, criminal defense attorney.
Do you see that person in court?
Yes, I do.
Where is he seated and what is he wearing?
He's seated right there wearing a blue tie and a dark suit, white shirt.
Thank you. We could bring the lights up, Your Honor.
Okay.
In response to, and going back to the multi-page document FF, in response to Trooper DeChico's photograph that he sent to the group, you responded to that photograph, did you not?
Yes, this document indicates so, yes.
And you responded by laughing at it, correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Well, that's what it
Different
says, or
than a
that's what
thumbs
you
up.
did.
I don't remember.
Trooper Proctor then, former Trooper Proctor, Michael Proctor, then responded, correct?
That's what it says here, yes.
And he responded to the group, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Michael Proctor then responded again. Is that right?
Yes.
He wrote, no nudes so far. Correct?
That's what it says, yes.
I hate that guy.
Michael Proctor responded yet again. Is that right?
That's correct.
And in reference to Mr. Yannetti's photograph, he wrote, I hate that man. I truly hate him. Correct?
That's what it says.
There's a trooper by the name of Moore, M-O-O-R-E, correct?
There is.
And he disliked Trooper Proctor's phrase, his statement, no nudes so far, correct?
That's what it says.
Did that indicate to you that Moore was disappointed that Trooper Proctor, Michael Proctor, had not found naked pictures of Miss Reed as yet?
I don't know what that indicated
I knew
for
he was going to
Mr. Moore.
avoid it.
And then you responded to the phrase, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone, correct?
I acknowledged that text message being sent.
You acknowledged it by liking it, correct? With a thumbs up.
I acknowledged it by responding with a thumbs up emoji.
The fact is, Trooper Proctor told you, his supervisor, in this series of text messages, that he was going through Miss Reed's phone. Is that right?
Correct.
And he also informed you, his supervisor, that he was going through her phone looking for nudes or naked pictures of her on her phone. Correct?
He did not tell me that he was going through naked pictures, for naked pictures through the phone.
He wrote, no nudes so far, right?
That is what is written, yes.
What did you think he was looking for when he wrote that phrase?
I don't know what he was looking for.
What would be a reasonable interpretation of what Michael Proctor was looking for when he wrote, no nudes so far?
I don't know.
Motorcycles, handbags, pair of shoes, or naked pictures of Miss Karen Reed?
Going with the motorcycle.
His mission was to go through the phone to look for digital evidence that's related to the crime. The fact that he wrote
nudes.
no nude so far, I cannot comment on.
You cannot comment on or you don't want to comment on.
I don't know what he was looking for in that specific time.
You certainly did nothing. You took no action to stop him from potentially looking for naked pictures of my client, correct?
That's correct.
Just own
In
it,
fact,
Harry. Just own it.
Last week you
It'll go
testified
much better for you.
that in your view, Michael Proctor handled himself in this investigation with integrity. That's what you said, correct?
That's correct.
Do you stand by that testimony?
The investigation was handled with integrity and honor.
Do you stand by your testimony that Michael Proctor conducted himself during the course of this investigation with integrity?
Yes, I do.
He also called her retarded, correct?
That is what's written.
That's what's written? That's a very passive way of saying it, Sergeant. That's what's written, or that's what he wrote?
That's what he wrote.
And that's what you read.
I have no memory of reading that. I acknowledged him going through the phone on my
Bro, come
Apple Watch.
on.
I have no memory of him writing retarded on a text
Is it
message.
because he does
And
it
you'll
so
agree
often
that
you
that
didn't
is
think it
one
was
of the
weird?
most vile and insensitive and incendiary terms one could use in modern society. Retarded, correct?
That is correct.
It is generally frowned upon.
And in fact, through your response to that vile phrase, you encouraged it because you liked it with a thumbs up, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Speaking of,
Did
give your
you
thumbs up on our
encourage
video.
that
A
statement
good one.
by Michael Proctor by liking it with a thumbs up?
I don't know if it encouraged him, but, so I cannot speak for
But
that.
that's what you did.
I acknowledge the text message being sent.
I want to be clear, these text messages were sent to you by your direct report, by your direct subordinate, correct?
That's correct.
And there was even someone on that text chain who was more senior than you, Lieutenant Fanning, right?
That's correct.
Michael Proctor was both your partner and the lead investigator on this case when he wrote that, correct?
He's a subordinate, and he was the case officer.
He is not going to admit to the lead investigator. I knew that was coming.
This thread, text thread, contains communications between a subordinate, the person you call the case officer. By the way, let me ask you another question. Did you ever, during the course of the investigation in which you were a part, the sustained findings, the internal affairs investigation, did you ever review Colonel Noble's determinations about your subordinate, Michael Proctor?
Objection.
Did you review them?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
What would Colonel Noble call Michael Proctor's title in this case? You think he'd call him the case officer or the lead investigator? What is your experience with Massachusetts State Police in that regard?
Objection.
Sustained.
Notwithstanding the fact that a subordinate was on this text chain and a supervisor to you, was Lieutenant Fanning one of your supervisors?
Yes.
Notwithstanding the fact that a subordinate was on this text chain and one of your supervisors was on this text chain, you felt comfortable enough within this group of law enforcement to actually like when the subordinate refers to a suspect as retarded, correct?
I acknowledge the text message with a thumbs up emoji.
Shut up.
Do you believe that? Well, let me ask you another question, a predicate question. You were also comfortable enough with that text chain to receive information that your subordinate was looking for naked pictures on a suspect's phone, a woman, no less. Correct? You took no remedial action against Trooper Proctor for that, correct?
No, I did not, no.
Do you believe, as you sit here, that that was a misuse of power and authority by a Massachusetts State Police officer?
By myself or
No,
somebody else?
by Michael Proctor.
Misuse of what?
Misuse of authority and power. To go through a suspect's phone, to get her phone using the authority and the power vested in that officer by the community members. That's the power that you derive, correct? You work for the public. Would you agree?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you believe it was a misuse of his authority and power to use Massachusetts State Police Authority to go through her phone and look for naked pictures of her?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you believe it was a misuse of authority or power to go through her phone and potentially look for nudes?
Objection.
Sustained.
Let me ask it differently. Did you think his text was appropriate?
I don't remember reading that text.
As you
so-
sit here now, do you think that text is appropriate?
No, it is not.
Do you think it's professional?
No, it is not.
Do you think it shows integrity?
That text message does not show integrity.
Do you think it shows honor? A word I expect you hold dear.
That text message does not show honor.
On October 15th, 2022, you completed a performance review of Michael Proctor, correct?
That's correct.
Specifically, you were asked to rank his, quote, oral and written communication skills, end quote, correct?
Correct.
That's part of an overall evaluation and performance review, is that right?
Yes, overall 90-day, quarterly, annual review.
You were specifically asked to rank whether he effectively would whether members, your subordinates, would effectively communicate with others, both within and outside the department, in oral and written form, correct?
That's correct.
And you rated him as exceptional, a number 4 rating out of 5, correct?
That's correct.
You actually went on to write and comment on Michael Proctor, and you wrote, quote, Trooper Michael Proctor displays professional demeanor, composure, dignity, and respect during the performance of his duties, and especially during his interactions with the public. This is seen during interviews with witnesses, suspects, as well as victims and their families, end quote. That was a statement you wrote about Michael Proctor, correct?
That is correct.
And this is after the text chain that we've just been talking about, where he calls Miss Reed retarded and references looking for nude photographs of her, correct?
That is correct.
Was your statement in that evaluation true or false?
It was true.
You knew Michael Proctor's proclivities, obviously. He told them to you, correct?
The term proclivities, what
You
does that mean?
knew what he tended to do, what he wanted to do through his own comments, to look for nudes on a woman's phone, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
You were aware, sir, that he had received evidence in a case, evidence that doesn't belong to him, belongs to the Massachusetts State Police, at least at that point, correct? The cell phone.
I was aware that he received a cell phone, yes.
And he used that power and the authority to go through that cell phone and look for nudes of my client, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
During the same course of your evaluation, you were also asked to evaluate his investigative ability, correct?
That's correct.
You rated him the highest standard in the Massachusetts State Police, outstanding, a 5, correct?
That's correct.
Wow.
And you went on to write about Michael Proctor in the commentary below that rating to justify it. Is that right?
That is accurate, yes.
What did you say?
You wrote, quote, Trooper Proctor has had a high-profile caseload with a lot of eye and pressure from external sources during the first day of the investigation. He handled himself and all the case with utmost professionalism and competence. He is able to investigate his case thoroughly and with strict integrity, end quote. Correct?
Which quarterly review was this?
This is the same one. October 2022. Is that right? Those are your comments.
That sounds very accurate. I just was not sure which quarterly review that was for.
Professionalism.
Yes,
You believe that he acted in accordance with the highest standards of professionalism?
during his 90-day performance, yes.
And you didn't just say he displayed professionalism, you said utmost professionalism, correct?
Yes,
Competence? Do you
Yeah.
believe he displayed competence?
yes,
And not just in integrity, but he conducted himself, as you put it, with strict integrity. Is that right?
that is correct.
Did it show integrity in your view when your subordinate Michael Proctor called Miss Reed retarded?
Objection.
I'll allow that one.
I believe that as a U.S. citizen, he has the right to comment. That's his First Amendment right. We uphold the Constitution, and it's unfortunate, unprofessional what he said in the private text message communication. He might have been voicing his frustrations. I cannot speak for Michael Proctor. It is unprofessional and unfortunate that he said that.
This was not, Sergeant Buchanan, a private text message conversation.
No, and it's with all your
His
coworkers.
boss and 4 or 5 other individuals, one of whom was your boss. Correct?
Correct.
This was a communication intended for and received by members of his unit in furtherance of his investigative authority. Correct?
It was amongst members of the unit.
He was updating his boss about what he was doing in furtherance of the investigation, going through her phone. Correct?
No, I would disagree with you on that. This was a group chain, text message chain that we were discussing private matters in our personal lives.
Private matters, including going through Miss Reed's phone?
That is unfortunate he shared that on that group text.
So in other words, to the public, he holds one face in private conversations with you and your colleagues within the unit. He shows a completely different face, private face, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
You said that you believe that he has a constitutional right, a First Amendment right, to call Miss Reed a suspect in his official investigation, in his official capacity as a Massachusetts state trooper, to call her retarded? That's your justification?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you justify his statement, that vile statement?
I do not know.
Do you think it's appropriate, given the fact that he has a First Amendment right to say whatever he wants?
No, I do not.
It's true.
Do you think there actually might be members of the community, parents, siblings,
Objection.
children?
Mr. Jackson, I'm going to exclude that question as argumentative. Move on.
You wrote in your
Not going great
report,
for you.
if I may have a moment, Your Honor. You wrote in your report about his conduct. He shows composure, dignity, and respect during the performance of his duties, and especially during his interactions with the public. He has a duty to the public, to the community that he serves, correct?
Yes, he does.
Just like you have a duty to the public and the community that you serve. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you think community members might take offense to the use of the
Objection.
word retarded?
Sustained. It's argumentative again, Mr. Jackson. Please don't do that.
He didn't just put it, that derogatory comment, he didn't just put it, or he didn't just say it, correct? You talked about the First Amendment.
Objection.
Sustained.
I'm not finished with my question, if I could.
All right, so just ask the question.
Sure.
No comments first, okay?
My question is, did he just say the word? Or did he go further than just saying it?
Objection.
Okay, we've gone through this. Move on, please.
The fact is, Sergeant, you put it in writing and you liked it, correct?
I acknowledge the text message. I never saw the vile term.
How'd you see it but not see it? I don't understand.
Your Honor, may we approach it just very briefly for a scheduling issue?
Okay, jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch.
For a schedule issue? What does that mean?
I have no clue. You never know with Bev.
Jackson said a schedule issue.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. This guy. Oh, throw all the potatoes and tomatoes at this guy. I am over him.
Oh Lord. AJ was going a little too far with that, though. Like, got it. You made your point. Let's move on. There are so many other things you can hammer this guy on.
That's true, but I wonder if like he went a little hard on him because he knows that Proctor's not coming, but the jury doesn't know that Proctor's not coming. And then it could seem like, prosecution's trying to cover stuff up.
He could still call Proctor. There's still way more text messages that they can't get in without Proctor. The ones between Proctor and his sister. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff about him getting, like, his sister talking with Julie Albert and offering to buy him a gift after having, after having their interview, like him going to interview them. His sister said she would like to buy you a gift, and he said, buy Elizabeth one. There's still a lot that they can get in with Proctor.
But prosecution's not calling him, yeah?
I mean, as of now, it doesn't look like it, but Jackson can still call him. I mean, they would have to figure out a way to get those messages in. I think it's being said that it's self-serving hearsay, but
True. Shanka throwing her pineapples. I don't think the jury likes this guy. I don't like this guy. Again, why you gotta be so dodgy and skeevy? Just own up to it, man. You're making yourself look so much worse.
yeah. Him avoiding the answers and just say it, just own it. Yeah, we suck. We sucked at that moment. We shouldn't have said that. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean.
But see, the reason why he didn't react the way he did, and AJ's bringing a good point, is how normal is this for you? Obviously, it's very normal behavior.
I don't even think he's supposed to be going through the actual phone, because you're not supposed to just go through the actual phone. You're supposed to have a printout. So
Yes.
I think him having his hands on the actual phone is like a huge problem too.
Yeah, because I think they're just supposed to clone it, and that's it.
Yeah, because he can even if it's not intentional, he can accidentally delete something, accidentally change things. Like,
yeah, I don't think they're allowed to do that either. They just plug it in and clone it, and that's it. But
it's usually handed over to the forensics person, and they do it. He's not supposed to be sitting in the office just scrolling through stuff.
No. Oh, no. No. Definitely not allowed to do.
And that's what it sounds like he was doing. And
I don't even think you're allowed to do that. You're right. It does sound like that's exactly what he was doing.
I don't think he was actually going through a printout. It sounds like he was just scrolling. I mean, they haven't have they explicitly said that yet? Like, was it a document you were going through, or was it the actual phone? Because it sounds like it was the actual phone.
They haven't clarified that. But I think it's implied.
Yeah, because that's what it sounds like to me. But if the jury doesn't know that they're not allowed to do that, because how would you know that that's not allowed unless you say that?
But I thought that was going to be quicker. Why don't we take the morning recess and we'll take.
Court all rise for the jury.
What? We're going to recess already? Okay, I guess. Maybe they'll come back to argue something. I don't know.
They do this a lot. They do this like get it started, and then you get an hour into it, and it's like break. I don't get it.
I just want to know why.
Damn, I wish I got that many breaks at work.
Let's see. What's she saying over here, chat? He wants to bury Proctor. Yeah. Bury. Barry.
Barry.
Is it Bury or Barry?
It's Barry. Bury
I wasn't
sounds
sure
weird.
if it was a dialect thing. I don't know. Anyway. Lady in Gray thinks they'll call him, and then it can go over. I assume you're talking about Proctor. Yeah, I think so. Where is where is he employed? Is he employed somewhere? Or is he unemployed right now? Did he get hired as an officer somewhere else? Surely not.
I
I
don't
would
think so.
think not.
He just got fired, so I don't know. I mean, he got his pension.
That's true, which is BS. BS. Yeah, he did say going through her phone, which
Yeah.
implies that.
That
But
he's scrolling. But until you make it clear that that's not what he's supposed to be doing,
mhm.
if the jury is not like very educated on police procedure, they would not know that that's not allowed because we kind of just assume that police can just do what they want, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes without being told that they can't. You would
Yeah.
just assume that they're allowed to do that, but that's not how it actually goes.
Maybe Proctor works at the Stop and Shop. Oh, that's hilarious. I want to hear Proctor read his text, including the "See You Next Tuesday" one. I want to hear those too, because y'all have told me about it. And I think he says something about like he hopes that she kills herself or something like that.
Yes.
Oh,
He talks about her leaky balloon knot and she has no ass, stuff like that. Not like is she a smoke show or something like that? One of his friends asked. That's his personal friends, like not the police. Yeah.
again, people that do stuff like that, it's because they've been allowed to behave that way.
Well, he was probably, talking to his friend group and didn't expect that anybody was going to see those. It didn't sound like that was to his coworkers. It sounded like it was to his, out of work friend group. So, I mean, you didn't expect to get.
Right, which you shouldn't be talking to people with a case where Lady in
You're
Gray
not
says on
supposed to.
X, as Jackson continues to amplify the supervisors on the text chain and uses the R word, no nudes, there are several jurors who I would describe as having stern looks. I mean, how could you not? Oh, that was from Sue O'Connell. Oh, gosh.
It would be very hard for me not to be like, oh, they would be like, juror on the far left, mouth is agape. You could literally drive a car into it.
Totally. Sue O on X also says, I think all the jurors have stern looks on their faces. I'd say a couple look almost angry. One juror kept her eyes on Buchanan during much of the last segment of Cross. I mean, I am disgusted by these.
Well,
By
the
this.
women on the jury are pissed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The women on the jury could not possibly be happy. I don't remember what the jury makeup was. I know we talked about
It's
it.
half and half. It's 9
It's
men,
half
9
and half.
women. And
Yeah, that's not great.
I'm telling you, the women on the jury are like, oh my God, is this what
The
the
fuck?
cops are doing when like that? What if that was me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not supposed to go, what if that was me? But everybody does. It's just,
When it's such a problem nowadays, nude photos getting out, and then you see the freaking cops, who, by the way, are paid for by taxpayers. And this is how they are treating women when they think nobody is looking.
mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, even their colleagues are in the chat with them. And according to Yuri, he's not looking either. He just gave a thumbs up, but he doesn't even know if he saw it or not.
Yeah, he was just acknowledging that he got the text because remember, he was in the middle of traffic duty. So he didn't actually read it. He just went, oh, thumbs up. Got it. Thanks.
Just gross.
Sure. He hasn't even got into the Sallyport video. Is that not coming in with him?
I don't think so. I don't recall them showing the Sallyport video at all yet. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure no. I know we've seen a photo of the car like parked in the Sally from behind with the taillight, and there was like yellow tape or something, but I don't think we've actually seen that video. Though I could be wrong because it's kind of been a blur. So,
No, I don't think we have seen the video yet. I'm just wondering who it's coming in with, because it came in with him last time, and that was a shit show because it was inverted, and he all of a sudden couldn't remember who the people were and stuff.
so it came in with Yuri, you said?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. It's very interesting the things that prosecution apparently is leaving out this time around. Very interesting.
It is very interesting, and he's got a method. I think he's just leaving out all the stuff that went badly last time. Is just hoping nobody would notice or ask questions this time, because you know these jurors don't know what we know. Well, those of us who watched the first trial,
Right.
and the jury doesn't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm. And the prosecution's not doing a very good job, organizing the
Well,
information or telling.
he's gonna have to connect the dots, and at some point, he's gonna have to make an argument. Okay, you're saying but you haven't showed us how. You haven't showed us. You haven't told us how this happened. Like, we don't know how this happened yet. Like, we're 3 weeks in, and we haven't been told how she hit the car with John. Hit him. Like, we're 3 weeks in, and we don't know how he died. We don't know anything.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to call like Trooper Paul. Yeah, that accident.
They're not calling Trooper Paul. They hired a third-party reconstructionist to do it. So you won't see Trooper Paul testify. But that's why I highly encourage you to watch the old testimony, because I'm sure their theory of everything has changed from, how they said that accident happened last time to what they're going to try to say happened this time.
Okay.
So
let me get this straight. The prosecution isn't calling the original Emmy.
No.
Nope. Not calling her.
No.
They're not calling the original reconstruction officer. They hired their own. They're not calling in the lead investigator. They called this guy, Urian, the supervisor. What are you? That's not going to look good. It doesn't look good.
And does sound like, I don't know, because we haven't gotten there yet. I guess we'll find out, but they haven't called Saraf yet. Or Sarah. And supposedly he's the one who heard her say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, and didn't arrest her or write it down. So that's not going to look good for them either.
No.
I have no idea. I guess he's just hoping, every EMT's and Jen McCabe's testimony is enough to make them believe it.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Is it's already convinced some people on the interwebs. So.
Yeah, but some of those people are listening to testimony from the last trial.
That's
so
true.
You have to, what are the people hearing from this trial? Because the people that are making the decision here didn't hear the last trial. So, and it's hard for us who have watched the last trial to not know the things that we know.
Right. I mean, as they say, it's hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Right.
Especially something like this. Oh my gosh.
But if you're not hearing from the Emmy who physically touched John's body, or, the lead prosecutor, like, wouldn't you have questions? Unless you just don't know that that's, normal. Like, if you just think that's normal, like if you have no idea how courtroom procedure goes or how trials go, would you know that that's not normal?
That's a good point. Well, I mean, I think the defense is doing their best to be like, by the way, here's a big red sign that says none of this is normal. They're trying their best, I feel, but no, I don't expect the average person to even really know that.
And that's really where I'm at. Like, Bev told them like they didn't want to call a professional in to talk about what is proper police procedure. She said that she thinks the jury is able to figure out what's good and bad investigation. But like, if you only know what you've seen on television, And let's face it, that's not accurate. That's how would you know that?
Sam, I don't think there were any women involved as officers or detectives
No, it
in this
sounds
case.
like
I
the
haven't heard of
only
any.
woman that was involved was Katie McLaughlin as the EMT, because I haven't
Yeah.
seen, I haven't seen.
I mean, let's be honest, through these text messages and the way things are, it's a good old boys club. Clearly, it's a good old boys club. So I don't even know if they would hire a woman, to be quite honest with you.
They might, but she wouldn't be in the text message group.
No, hell no, she wouldn't. No, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't be in the group chat.
I should hope not, anyway.
Yeah, well, you would think, but some men do like to say things in front of women and think that it should, don't be so sensitive. We're just joking.
Right? Don't be so sensitive. That's what Brian
You know,
Brian kept saying to
they're just so sensitive. We're so sensitive.
right. It looks like Hank has filed a motion and he wants to call the Slut Sisters. What does that mean?
Okay. So
Is that
the
their new
women,
last name?
no,
Oh,
they're
I
not.
was like,
They're
that
the
is so unfortunate.
she's just, I don't know that they're sluts. There's nothing that they have done that indicates that to me. The Sullivan sisters were on their Aruba trip that was referenced as the New Year's Eve kiss.
Oh,
When Aruba, yeah.
okay.
Where she was upstairs in the room,
Okay.
and she came down to the lobby and saw, John kissing her. So there was that fight. And I guess since it was initially he wasn't going to bring that up, but I'm guessing since the defense brought in those text messages, they want to lean into it and be like, okay, let's ask her about it. Because Karen did yell and kind of made us a bit of a scene about it in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean,
Ladies in Gray says, comment on X, Hank telling Aunt Bev he was calling the Sullivan sisters was just more gaslighting. He knew all along he planned on calling them. Oh, are they there for this afternoon? Is that who he was playing?
Who knows if we get there? As long as Yuri keeps evading questions, he's going to be on the stand longer.
Interesting. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'll just put us back over here. I don't know why we were there the whole time.
Because we like to watch the fan. I think we get more fan time than trial time.
Today, yes, I would agree. I wonder, are they still going to take a normal time lunch, or at this rate, Yuri's going to be on the stand all day?
My husband and I were talking about that over the weekend, and we were like, it'll probably be Tuesday before he gets off of it, because we still got to do redirect.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's going to be a recross. So, because we haven't even finished the first cross, and Hank is just not going to if he's smart, he just won't ask any more questions and just let Yuri go.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he asks more questions, then, Alan's just going to get over, ask more questions.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
If he's smart, he would just be like, let this guy get off the stand. Let's just move on and hope the jury forgets all about this with all the other stuff we're bringing in. But there's no telling. But if he stays, if they do redirect, there's going to be a recross. So Tuesday is probably my guess.
I like how Jackson's just like, I can do this all day, man. Very Captain America of him. I can do this all day.
Hey, he's like, I get paid by the hour. Take it as long as you want.
Let's see. He put in a motion for additional information to show the relationship between John and Karen. Okay, buddy, but I don't get what your point is, but okay. Mm-mm. She also felt bad afterwards and paid for everyone's dinner and offered to pay for their hotel room. Oh, in
Yes.
Aruba. Karen did in Aruba.
Yes, because she yelled at her, made a big scene in the lobby. I don't know that anybody was there to see it, but
Is this
I
like
don't-
New Year's before John dies? Like just a few weeks?
Mhm.
Or is this a
I'm thinking so, yes, because she
okay?
referenced that in her messages with Higgins, and that was only a few weeks before John died.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that's what I think is what they're trying to say precipitated her, and that's what the second degree, like, she is a jealous girlfriend. She is calling him a cheater. You're just cheating on me, and like she killed him on purpose because she.
I don't know. They're not selling me on that. I mean, she already started a flirtationship with Higgins. Something happened. We all know something happened. What happened? I don't know. But something definitely happened. And then she ghosted him. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if she would have reached out to try to prove to herself she could do all that. She just seems too independent to, and yes, she does have signs of jealousy. Some people do, sure. But I just don't see, oh yeah, I need to kill my boyfriend over this, who I don't live with, I don't need anything from, I don't have kids with. Like, she can just walk away at any point in time, you know? And again, like, she was just like, let's spend more time together, not with the kids, but like completely respectful of the fact that he has a life with his niece and nephew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that's not normal, really, for a lot of people. I think it's great, but I don't know. I just don't. We all have our moments. If so, then Elbow Fee is lucky he is alive to this day. If that's what that means, that you have these arguments that make you want to kill somebody, he is lucky. Just kidding. Maybe AJ mentioned New Year's Eve, so that Brennan would call the sisters. They really don't help the CW at all. Interesting. We do, Llama. She texted the bone phone.
I kind of disagree, because if you're already if you're already on the CW side, I can see why the Sullivan sisters would help. Like, if it depends on what perspective you're looking at the case, and if you're already looking at the case as, you're for the defense, then you're seeing, okay, so they don't help this because whatever. What does that mean? But if you've already decided in your head that she's an angry, jealous woman and she killed John O'Keefe, look at her, she's trying to get revenge, then yeah, they do help to see. It depends on where you're already looking at this trial from. They can be, it really does, I feel like, depend on where you are already. And
Love you, babe.
Technically, like, the jury is not supposed to be deciding anything until they're at the end, but that's not human nature. We kind of already know how we're seeing this. We can tell ourselves, no, I'm going to wait to the end, but you're already kind of leaning one way or the other.
I already am. I'm like,
so,
I don't.
It's just, if we're being realistic, it's not human nature. We kind of already know where we're thinking until somebody gives you the aha, where you're like, you know what? I thought that 5 minutes ago, but this right here. But usually, if you're already on one side, it's going to take a big aha to send you over here.
That's true. And the trope of angry, scorned woman is still
so overplayed.
It's so overplayed, but a lot of people are still quick to buy into. I think it's gotten better.
They are.
But it's very.
But
it's a stereotype.
It's like they do it all the time. So it's overplayed, but yeah.
Agreed.
She was angry, so she killed him. Because we're emotional.
Oh yes, we're emotional, and
even though the majority of murders are by men, we're the emotional ones.
Right. Right, we are, right?
We're
Yes,
the
the strong, independent woman who has her own job, big ass house, doesn't need anybody. That's right.
5-bedroom house. You know that mortgage ain't cheap.
No way. Not there for sure. Ugh. But that's right. Her and her woman ways got all jealous and crazy.
You're just a woman.
And again, I mean, yeah, she did sound a little jealous in certain parts. But also
I
okay,
mean,
and
jealousy is a human emotion.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you're
There's,
telling me that women weren't all over John?
John wasn't jealous. Did you see the text message when he was like, oh, I hope that plumber is hot?
Oh, the
Okay.
plumber, right? Like, what? What?
Like, human is, it's a human. Let's remember these are human beings, okay? Like, you're
Mhm.
allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be jealous. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to be whatever. Like, we're humans. It doesn't mean you're a murderer.
Right? Excuse me. Do you know how much these cop makes? It's unbelievable. I think it's like 6 figures by the
Oh
time
my
they get
gosh.
overtime and
Saw what like Gallagher made. Like it was when I did like a Google search on him a couple of days ago or whatever. I was like, dang, yeah, they're doing pretty good money.
they barely even do their job.
Well, I mean,
Cool. Cool.
when you're obviously very smart, you just know. You just know.
Right? It couldn't have been a bunch of drunk, egotistical men who took it too far, right? Definitely a woman with anger issues who could only do this. Of course, right? They would never. Guys don't do that. Fight over women? What? No. Oh, wait.
I think they're just Commonwealth's doing too much of a buildup. I think you just need to start like, let's get to the how do you think he died? What did she do?
Mm.
Prove it. Because you've proved that she was drunk. I think everybody can agree to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to get second degree murder. But I think he's tried to with the Rubis sisters. But you're doubtful you're going to get second degree murder. So just prove the manslaughter. Like DUI manslaughter. Like
Mm-hmm.
prove that. I don't know.
I
But
mean, they
you're
can't prove a whole
proud.
lot because they didn't collect things appropriately. So
Well, we wouldn't even know because we haven't seen it yet.
that's
3 weeks
also,
in
that's true.
on week
That's
3,
true.
right? This is day what 14, so
Yeah. It's not looking great. It's not looking great.
100 days into this trial, and we don't even know. No, I'm just kidding. We don't even know
It
how he
feels
died.
like it. It feels like it. I want to know why Jackson said he wanted a sidebar for scheduling issue. I'm so nosy because it's still prosecution's case in chief. So does he have somewhere he needs to be? I don't know. Just a weird thing to ask for when you're in the middle
It
of
is the end of the school year.
crossing,
He has
a
kids.
witness.
Maybe he's got
Yeah,
a
but isn't he from
preschool
the West
graduation.
Coast?
Yeah,
He's from the West Coast, right?
LA.
Yeah. Is Yannetti too, or is Yannetti local?
No, Yannetti's local.
Okay. Because I was wondering, I was like, how the cops like not like him?
Yeah, they know him.
They know him though. So okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, AJ is the only out of towner.
Okay. Oh, so even Miss Little?
Well, no, she works with him. When I say AJ, I meant his team. She's a partner at the team or whatever.
Oh, okay. So everyone else is a team. Yannetti's local though.
Alessi, I think, is New York, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody did say Alessi was New York, I believe, because he's a
And
New York
Yannetti
pharmacist as well, or something.
He does it all. That means
He's a pharmacist and a lawyer. Like, okay, overachiever, cool. Make room for the rest of us, but okay.
Yeah, I went and like looked up AJ's firm's homepage over the weekend and was like their website and going through it and stuff.
Oof. I can only imagine like the heat they must be taking. Like other people that work there too, you know what I mean? Just batting people off and everything. AJ was assistant DA for the Weinstein trial. Really interesting.
I think he
Okay.
even ran for district attorney at one point.
Interesting. Interesting. Is he from like LA? That part of California or Northern California?
No, LA. He's an LA attorney.
Oh, LA. Okay. Oh boy. Well, I mean, and he know if you're from LA, then you know the police there aren't great either. So.
Yeah, because Emily D. Baker used to work in the same office. She hasn't worked with him, but she worked in the same office as him.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
She knew of him. They did not work together.
But I imagine like here, it's a circle,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still eating my gummy worms from the movie last night.
So you have leftover like snacks from your movie? That never happens.
The gummy worms.
I do think AJ stays on some topics way too long.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And I don't think he would maybe if the witnesses weren't being such a pain in the ass and gets him frustrated. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but like I think he made the point with the whole R word, which I won't say, but like he just keeps going. It's like got it. And I know you want to keep saying it, but it's like, come on, bro. Move on.
That's true.
Got it.
Oh.
Got it. Move on. I'm getting bored with the same line of questioning in 30 different ways. And I sometimes think he stays too long on things he's already got an answer of. And I was waiting for her to say, this is art, like move on. Because you've went around this tree a few times.
Well, he sure does like to include his commentary as part of the question. Because really what he does is he makes a whole statement.
And then
his thoughts, and it'll be like,
correct. And then puts a question mark at the end of it.
Comment, correct, question mark. And you're like, what? I didn't even know this was a question.
Oh, it was a question. I used the uptick at the end of the sentence. Question mark.
Yes, that's right. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't think this guy's getting off the stand today.
I think it'll be Tuesday. And I will stand corrected if Brendan's smart, he doesn't redirect. He just says go.
Just go.
Just go.
This isn't great for us.
But if he redirects, we're gonna be here a while.
Well, what is he gonna redirect on? Try to convince the jury now that the police are completely fine?
That's what I'm saying.
Following procedure. What are you even gonna say to clean this?
He's gonna have to try to rehabilitate him. I don't know if he can, but if he was smart, he'd just be like, okay, just go.
Yeah, thanks for taking one for the team, buddy.
Next, let's bring someone else in here and hope the jury forgets today. But I was listening to somebody over the weekend who was saying that if they were Brennan, they would just go ahead and bring Proctor in and get him over with.
Might as well.
Like we already know that Proctor is crap. Buchanan told everybody that Proctor is crap. Let's just go ahead. Put it all out there and then move on and hope that the jury forgets and just own it. Just do it and move on. Because you can't not call him.
No, not after everything they've said about him so
You
far.
are unmuted.
Oh, we are unmuted.
We are unmuted. Goodbye.
Good, because I need more coffee.
Back in session, you may be seated.
Okay. So, Mr. Jackson, I've considered your argument, and this is simply the wrong witness, so I'm not permitting that line of testimony.
What's the argument? I need the tea.
For that, so. All right, I think the jurors are nowhere.
Are nowhere? The jurors are nowhere.
I really wish they would take into consideration our feelings when they make these arguments. If you're not going to make the arguments, I need to know what they were.
We need to know what they were. We want the tea. Come on. You're supposed to be educating the public, too. Well, you don't have to, but it's appreciated.
No, but I'm just nosy, and I want to know what you were going to say. It's like when someone says, never mind, I'm not going to say that. No, now I need to know.
All right. What argument were you gonna? Why was this not the right one? Does that mean there's a right one? I bet it's Michael, former or disgraced former trooper Michael Proctor.
This court is in session. Please be seated.
All right, I'll be back.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant, I'd like to move to a different area. At some point during the course of your investigation, you and Michael Proctor interviewed Chris and Julie Albert, correct?
That's correct.
That was at the Albert residence, the Chris and Julie Albert residence, is that right?
Yes.
On or about February 10th, 2022?
Yes,
Does that sound right?
it does.
Okay. At any point before or during that interview, did Michael Proctor discuss with you a previous relationship that he and or his family had with Chris and Julie Albert or their family?
Yes, as we were walking up to the door, he stated that he knows of them from around town and through friendship.
Did that cause you any concern that the case officer that had been assigned to the case, dealing with, obviously, involving the Albert family, had a pre-existing familiarity or relationship with any members of the Albert family?
Yes, I followed up asking him if he hangs out with these people, how well he knows them, and he stated that he does not hang out with them. They're not his friends. He just happens to know them through people in town.
Did he tell you any specifics about communications he had related to Chris and Julie Albert?
No, he did not.
Did he tell you any specifics about communications Michael Proctor had with his sister as it pertained to Chris and Julie Albert?
No.
Did he volunteer any information about the relationship that he might have or his family might have, including his wife, with Chris and or Julie Albert?
That information did not come up.
Did you ever later learn, now I'm taking it outside of your conversation with Michael Proctor, did you ever later learn about friendship or connection that he and his family, Michael Proctor's family, had with Chris and Julie Albert or the Albert family?
I've learned of accusations. I don't know the extent of how familiar they are.
What accusations have you learned?
Through trial or through court proceedings.
Right, what are they? Give me the nature of what you've learned.
Objection.
Sustained, we need a time frame.
Sure. When did you learn of this information?
That was July of 2023, I believe.
And what were the circumstances in which you gained this knowledge? What did you learn about it?
There were accusations that Michael Proctor had familial friendship with these individuals, but the accusations were not factual.
Did you learn any specifics
Of
the allegations? You used the word allegations, or I think you used the word accusations.
yes,
Were there any specifics?
there were.
You just said that what were some of the specifics?
Objection.
Sustained.
Brennan, let
Well-
us hear things.
By the way, did you say that you learned of these accusations during the last proceeding in this case?
Not the last proceeding. I
Or a
said
prior proceeding in this case?
it was through court proceedings.
Okay, how did you learn that specifically, Sergeant? Did you watch some of the proceedings? Were they televised? Did someone report it to you? What were the circumstances?
I was present in court.
This was what year? 2023? 2023.
Yes.
And did you take any action to investigate further the accusations that you said came up in 2023?
No. Well, yes, I did, yes.
Okay, what did you do in that regard? What were the accusations and what did you do to investigate?
The information had been learned and that it was not factual, so
Okay, you're using the word information.
How did you know that, though?
Help me out. Details. What'd you learn?
there was claims that
I object.
May we approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
You guys, this guy. I'm over it already. What allegations is he talking about? Michael Proctor's relationship to everybody involved? And then you said they weren't factual. I wonder what kind of investigation he actually did into them. They probably just took Jen McCabe's word for it, I guess.
Sorry, I was trying to get a soda when they abruptly go to a soda, a Coke. Like you're trying to sound like all northern.
Look
soda.
at you.
I was trying to get a Coke, which was really a Dr. Pepper because I'm from the South. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's an abrupt sidebar. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm gonna need you to give me a warning before you do this.
Please, thank you. I know I made it back just in time. Got a refill of my Coke, my
What?
coffee.
You're welcome. No, I was like, what do I want? Do I want coffee? I don't want coffee. I actually want a Dr. Pepper. So I went and got it.
The store was out of, normally we buy Coke, but it was out. So Elevate was like, how about Pepsi? I was like, okay. I don't like
Look,
Pepsi.
my puppy is joining us.
Aww. Look at her. So
See if you can
cute.
see her.
Yes. There she
Oh, so
is.
cute.
Little Penny.
Bad girl.
Uh-oh. You're getting hate from Bells in the chat.
Wait, what?
Why in the world did you
Soda.
betray the South by saying soda?
I've been hanging out in Boston too long. Bastin. I had to go get in my car the other day. I couldn't remember where I packed it. I don't know.
So hot.
All right, what are we talking? What? Why are we at sidebar? Why are we at sidebar?
Because Brennan's objecting to everything. Because he's trying to ask Yuri about the accusation.
Oh, we're just gonna go straight to the fan. That means we're gonna be here a while. Didn't we just have a 30-minute break? All you're doing is pissing the jury off. Jury's
Right?
like, oh, I have laundry. At least like 9 of the women are thinking I could be doing something.
Mm-hmm. Because you know they
crap.
probably already did stuff yesterday. I'm just saying, if I would be annoyed. I'd be very annoyed if I was them. Like,
Pretty sure she told them, if we have anything to argue beforehand, let me know.
mm-hmm.
Maybe they didn't know what they were getting into, and I don't believe that because I know AJ knows what they're going to be doing beforehand. What he's going to try to get in. I'm so frustrated. Seen more of this fan
Mm.
in the last 2 years.
I feel like they need a nicer one, a more wooden-esque one, I guess, to match the aesthetics of the courtroom or something.
We're going to request a replacement.
Right? Can they
If
switch
you're
up the
gonna-
fans like the IT people? Because the guy's back this week. Last week it was a female that was the IT person. And now Quentin Tarantino's back this week.
All right, bro. What we got?
Final question, Sergeant. I think I asked this, but let me
Final
make sure I'm clear.
question.
Your interview, along with Michael Proctor, with Chris and Julie Albert was February 10th, 2022, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not certain on that, but I believe it was.
Okay. Well, let me just clear that up real quick. Would it refresh your recollection to look at your report?
Yes, absolutely.
Of course I would. Why did he say final question?
Thank you.
Does that refresh your recollection, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
What was the date?
February 10th.
Thank you. Okay. I want to move to
It's not the final question.
Psych
This is
out.
Another question.
Psych.
back to Canton PD. Did you at some point recover some videos or a series of electronic data that purported to be videos from Canton PD in furtherance of your investigation?
Yes.
And to whom did you deliver these videos, and whom were they requested by?
The initial request was by Michael Proctor. I delivered them to him.
Okay. Since that delivery, have you seen these videos?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Are we gonna see the videos?
I don't see how we can't.
I'd like to have, with the court's permission, I'd like to have marked.
Here we go.
Next in order for introduction, but I'll
was
play
wondering.
the first couple of seconds of it and just establish the foundation first with the court's permission.
Have you shown it or discussed this with Mr. Brennan?
I just discussed it with Mr. Brennan at the break.
What's the Commonwealth's position? I have no idea what it is.
I agree, Shanka.
Sure, we can mark, yes. Mr. Brennan said he'd like to review them before they get entered into evidence. We can mark them for ID for purposes of this examination.
I don't expect I'll object, I just want to review.
Okay, so we'll mark it for identification, please, Madam Court Reporter.
Exhibit GG for identification.
Just to establish the foundation so we know what we're talking about, did you see on some of the electronic devices that you picked up in furtherance of this investigation video of somebody outside, now we're the outside cameras or outside camera view at Canton PD at about 1:30 in the morning on January 29th, 2022?
The digital video, one of the collection items. It wasn't a device. It was, well, I guess it is a device, but the digital storage that was collected had video from external view of the PD. I do not remember specifically seeing an individual, but
Okay.
I did review
remember
it.
being of the parking lot area, at least one of them, one of the clips being of the parking lot area outside Canton PD?
I don't remember seeing outside parking lot. I'd have to see it.
I understand. Do you remember another clip being of the outside sally port? There's a pedestrian door, not the big roll-up door, but a pedestrian door, someone going in and out of the pedestrian door?
I know the view you're talking about, but specifically what you're stating, I would have to see the video, tell you if I saw it or not.
And I'm asking a couple of these other questions. I think I may know what the answer is. There's another, do you remember another video being an internal corridor, looking down a hallway and seeing someone walk up or back?
Yes,
Do you
yes,
remember that one?
I do.
Okay, and then one on the outside, again, sort of passing from right to left. May not be intended to a parking lot, but at least an outdoor view of someone moving from frame right to frame left across the camera angle.
I don't remember that.
You do remember that all these videos, I just mentioned 4, we've talked about 4, these videos were from January 29th, 2022, around generally 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact time and date. I just remember seeing the file and reviewing it.
Do you remember Mr. Proctor asking for video attendant to January 29th? At least can we narrow it to that date?
From Ken PD?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So these are all from January 29th, 2022. You just don't remember the specifics of them. It's been too long since you've seen them.
I don't know when each video was collected and then reviewed.
Okay.
Exactly.
With the court's permission, well, may I have just a moment to confer with counsel?
Okay.
Show us the videos.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd ask that what's been marked as GG, at least the first video, be published for the jurors.
All right, so there are 4 videos on this flash drive?
One video, 4 different camera angles as it's set from the one video.
Are you ready to see this now? I thought you wanted to review it.
I'll agree, and if I have a problem, I'll let the court know. I have no problem.
All right, so for the first one, the first camera angle?
Correct.
Okay.
It's one video, but 4 different angles.
All right, we just have to keep a record. That's why I'm
Understood.
asking all these
It's a little
questions.
complicated, I get it.
All right, we can do that.
Thank you. And this is, Your Honor, just for the record, actually, let me do it this way. Sergeant, would you agree that we can call this the rear lot main side at Canton PD, just for identification purposes?
Look how much snow's on the ground.
Sure.
Not
if
enough
you-
to
if you'd
cover a
like.
human body. That's how much.
I don't know which side this is, so I can't argue with you about the location. So
Okay.
I'll agree with you that we can call it that.
Great. It looks like a parking lot. There's cars in.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just for purposes of, so it doesn't get complicated, we'll call this rear lot main side. That doesn't mean anything unless you adopt it, so just for identification purposes.
Thank you.
If we could move to runtime 1:26:32. Okay, with the court's permission, may I play it at this point?
Okay.
Thank you. Stop. Did you see a car pass in front?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of car did that look like to you?
It looked like a 2-door Jeep Wrangler with a plow on it.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Okay, stop. Sergeant, did you, during the course of your investigation, learn whether or not anybody associated with your investigation had a 2-door Jeep Wrangler with a plow on it?
Yes.
Who is that?
Mr. Brian Higgins.
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and play this.
You don't remember it because we never saw it.
Interesting.
But there was a lot of video that was turned over after the last
Stop.
trial.
Sir, do you see a person who appears to have alighted from the car,
Yes.
from the Jeep? Sergeant, if you could turn your attention to the screen on the right, does that appear to be the location of the person that you're describing?
That's the individual that came out of the vehicle, yes.
Okay. I know it's super blurry. You may not be able to at this point. Do you know who that is?
I do not know.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play it. Okay, stop. All right, did you see the person walk off the screen?
Yes.
Did it appear that that person had something in his or her hands?
Convenient.
Possibly, yes.
Okay. May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. If we could play the second clip on this same GG. Before this is played, Sergeant, do you recognize what's depicted in this photograph?
I do not know.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play this. Stop. What do you see on the video at this point?
An individual crossing the frame with a couple of cars parked, one of which has a plow on it.
Does it look like an exterior video?
Yes.
Does that appear to be an exterior video if you don't know exactly where, an exterior video of Canton PD?
From the facilities, yes.
Okay. And describe the person that you see in the foreground at the bottom of the screen.
Appears to be wearing a black sweatshirt, a hooded sweatshirt.
Larger in stature, smaller in stature, can you tell?
I'd be speculating because there's no comparison, but possibly larger. I don't know.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it. And that's it for that. Your Honor, if we could play the next video. By the way, can we agree, before we move off of this, just for identification purposes, can we agree to call this rear lot cruiser side as opposed to rear lot main side, just to keep them separate?
Same as last time. I'm not aware, familiar where that camera is, so I cannot argue with you nor adopt. But if for identification purposes only, we can agree on that.
Can you see from where you are, I know the answer to this, can you see from where you are the timestamp on the bottom of this?
No.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, it's very, very small. Is it possible to ask the witness to adjourn from the witness stand just to get close enough to see if he can read the...
You can't increase the size of it?
Maybe we can. I'm not the tech guy. Mr. Wolk? Magic. Wow. I didn't even know he could do that. Okay, can you read that?
Yes, it says rear lot cruiser side.
Okay, what about the time?
The timestamp reads 1:27:41.
Do you see a date?
Yes,
What is that date?
1/29/2022.
Thank you. This was my fault. Your Honor, if we could move back to rear lot main side, I'd like to do the same thing. I failed to ask for the time and date on that one. Mr. Wolk, if you could, please. Is it possible to see from there the time and date?
Yes, the time is 1:27:32 a.m. and the date is 1/29/2022.
Thank you. Okay, if we can move to the third clip. If we could start, Mr. Wolk, by enhancing with the court's permission the time and date, let's just start with that.
Enhance.
Do you see what the timestamp designates this camera angle to be?
It appears to be church side, and I can't read the third word there.
Exterior?
Oh, yes, exterior. Sally Port.
Okay, and if you could tell the jurors what you see in terms of the time
Yes.
and date?
And you
The
saw how
time is
bright those headlights were.
1:27:43 a.m. and the date is 1/29/2022.
Thank you. Mr. Wolk, if you could play that with the court's permission.
And don't forget, he also plowed their driveway for them before he left. Remember that.
Stop. Do you see a person in that video?
I do.
Although it's somewhat blurry, can you describe that individual for us, please?
Individual wearing dark clothing, possibly. That's the best I could do, really.
Okay. Does it appear, given what you've seen in terms of the time of the main side, cruiser side, and now this exterior church side, does that appear to be the same person moving through on the outside of Canton PD?
It does, yes.
Okay. And what are we looking at here, by the way? What is this door he's about to walk into?
I'd be guessing. I was never present on that side of the Sally Port.
Understood.
I don't know.
Let's go ahead and play this. Okay. And for the final clip. If we could go down to the timestamp and date. A little bigger, Mr. Wolk, if you could. Can you see what that is designated as that camera angle?
Yes, it says first floor corridor, and the time is 1:28:03 a.m. on the 29th of January, 2022.
Okay. Is this the corridor version or video that you did have some recollection of?
Yes, this is, yes.
Okay, if we can go ahead and play this. Stop. Do you recognize the person in this video?
It appears to be Mr. Brian Higgins.
Okay.
Of course,
And what
he's
is he
wearing a
Describe it for the
Punisher
jurors.
sweatshirt.
Black sweatshirt with some sort of logo on the front. It appears to be blue jeans and shoes with a white trim.
And is the hood up or down on the sweatshirt?
It's up.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this. May I have just a moment? Could you pause this, Mr. Wolf? Can you make note of the time as it's paused right here?
Do you want me to say it again or
Yes,
write
sir.
it down?
Yes, sir.
The time is 1:28:16 a.m.
Okay, and if we could just continue playing this video. It is playing. Stop. Now, if you could take a look at the time now. Okay, what's that time?
1:29:42
Okay.
a.m.
And if we could go ahead and go forward. Is it still playing, Mr. Wolk? Okay. If we could take a look at the time one more time.
Now it's, you want me to say it?
Yes, sir.
1:34:12 a.m.
And in the time, just so the record's clear, in the time between you saying 1:28:16 to 1:34:12, 6 minutes has not gone by, correct?
Just under 6, I believe, yeah.
Well, 6 minutes for us in real time,
Oh, in real time, yeah, no.
it is not. So it
Sorry.
appears that the camera jumped, or the time jumped.
The time difference on what was displayed is approximately 6 minutes, yes.
Okay, which is much further than, much longer than the time we've actually been looking at the video, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so it appears that it may be motion activated and it just jumped.
That's a possibility, yes.
Okay,
yes.
let's go ahead and continue playing this. And stop. Do you see someone in the screen now?
Yes.
And one more time, I know this is laborious, one more time if we could
a
clock the
Harley.
time.
Is he wearing a whole different sweatshirt?
Can you see that?
No, it's really blurry for me.
There we go.
Yes, now I can see it 1:34:15, if I'm not mistaken, a.m.
Okay, fair enough. And let's go ahead and play this all the way through. Okay. Who did that appear to be walking away from the camera in this shot?
I'm not certain. I would be suspecting or guessing if I gave you an answer, but I'm not certain who that is.
As best you can determine, does he have the same stature? I know you can't see his face. Same stature, same clothing, jeans, shoes with white stripe around it, dark hooded sweatshirt. Does it appear to be the same person as Brian Higgins?
It does appear that way, yes.
Okay. Is that it? Okay. There's one more clip. that I'd ask you to look at on this same GG device. Okay. What do you see in this video?
Appears to be the church side sally port, and an individual came out of the door.
Okay, and can we highlight the time, please, or increase the size? What time do you see there?
1:34:40 a.m.
Okay, if we go ahead and play this through. Pause. Does it appear from this video that the person has anything in his hand?
I'm sorry, can you play that again? I wasn't looking at the hand,
Oh,
but
sure, sure.
I really can't tell.
Okay,
Looks like he's talking on a phone, is what it looks like to me.
there should be another video of the rear lock cruiser side. Let's take a look at that. Pause.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely on the phone.
What do you see in that video?
Yeah.
It appears to be an individual wearing
Right,
a
Albert.
black beanie hat, black dark colored sweatshirt with some design on it, and something illuminating by his face.
Can we enhance the time, please? What time is that?
It says 1:34 and 53 seconds in the morning, a.m.
And if you could move the screen over to the individual.
I thought he called Albert at like 2:22 in the morning or something.
Does that appear to
like
be the same person?
It could possibly be, yeah.
And does it appear as something in his hand up to his face, the right side of his face or ear?
Yes.
What do you think that is?
It's consistent with a cellular device, possibly a phone or a tablet.
Okay, if we could move on, please. Play that through. And I believe there's one more video. And Your Honor, this one is a little longer. This is about 10 minutes.
Okay.
With the court's permission, I'd like to play this through.
What are we going to see for 10 minutes?
I don't know. I was just thinking the same
Stop.
thing.
Do you see a person in the video walking from screen right to screen left?
Yes.
Did that person appear to have something in his right hand?
I can't tell. I can't see his right hand.
Okay. When he first walked into the screen, could you tell?
I couldn't. No, I'm sorry.
Mr. Wolk, could we back that up with the court's permission about 2 seconds? Stop. Did it appear as something in his hand?
It's a possibility, yes.
Okay. And
Just give it to him.
just for, I'm going to ask you for 2 times when we start and when we stop. What's the time on this video at this point when he walks into frame?
1:35 and 8 seconds in the morning, a.m.
Okay. And let's go ahead and play this through.
He waddles.
He does waddle.
Snow.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, was
Riveting.
it snowing? Was it snowing?
We're not meteorologists, okay?
Proof of snow.
No, so he's not on the driver's side. I think he's in between. He's in the back passenger side between that and the car beside him. Or at least I haven't seen him move from that area. It did not look like he opened a door. Also, who drives a Jeep in the winter in Massachusetts? Like, what? I mean, people do have Jeeps in the north, but like, come on, it's
It has a snow plow.
it has a snowplow.
It's been winterized. Okay.
What is he doing? I mean, one could speculate.
What is he doing?
What does his passenger taillight look like? Oh, I know they're like four-wheel drive and stuff. It's just funny because they're not warm.
He's wiping the blood off of his snowplow. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Allegedly, speculatively. It's not alleged. It's just me being facetious. Riveting.
I think so. Oh. I feel like I can't tell if I see him or if it's the snow by like
Now I can't see
the driver's
anything.
side mirror of the other one, but I can't tell.
He said he went
That is
back
a person.
to the PD to move cars around and do well, his story did change. It was administrative, and then it was to move cars. So is that what he's doing? Is this him moving cars or just sitting in them or what? He's got a body in the back of his Jeep. Well, case closed.
But yeah, what time was it on the video?
It's like
1:40 in the morning almost.
Let's
Look
see,
at how much snow is not on that ground.
Well, can't see what time
And
is
so-
on it because we got the scrolly bar in front of it, so it's hard to see.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to see. They gotta make it larger for you to see. Anyway, here, I'll show you.
I was trying to scoot it up in my phone.
Oh,
So
But-
at this point, do you see a person walking into the frame into the video from frame left to frame right?
Yes.
Okay.
wait.
Go ahead.
Oh, there he is. I see. Yeah.
It says 129.
Who's that person? That's not.
Is that him?
No. Person's wearing a lighter top. Oh, but it looks like he's talking to somebody over there.
Can't see.
They're right in there. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Never mind. It's not helpful. Around, I don't know, because the timeline's a mess. Somewhere between 12:20 and 12:40, I think, is when Karen allegedly hits John.
Yes, but I guess they're saying like if 1:30 is when they're saying that everybody left the Alberts. If it's snowing like this, maybe they wouldn't have seen John on the lawn. Because it is kind of hard to see, but also this is a crappy
pause it?
camera.
Did you see something happen with the vehicle next to the Jeep in the last few seconds?
A door open?
Yes.
What was that?
It appears as though the headlights are activated.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it.
Looks like the door is open or something to me.
Okay, pause it. You see a person that is walking from screen right to screen left in the middle of the screen?
Yes, he just, or she just appears to have closed the door on that vehicle next
She?
to the plow.
Okay. And walking toward which vehicle?
Sir, that is not a
Uh,
woman's
The
body.
one on the furthest on the left.
Okay, from what you've seen, Sergeant, that you said he or she, does that person appear to be consistent with the video that we've seen of, in other particulars, of Brian Higgins?
As far as I could tell from here, the individual accessed Brian Higgins' vehicle, so
Right.
I'd be speculating with the whiteout conditions or near whiteout conditions. It's tough to tell.
But no reason to believe that it's anybody other than Brian Higgins accessing Brian Higgins' vehicle?
No,
Okay,
no.
let's go ahead and play it. And what do you see Brian Higgins, or that person doing now?
They accessed the vehicle on the far left.
Okay. And where's that person going?
Now they're accessing the Jeep Wrangler.
Bro, what are you doing?
I don't know.
I need a crumb of context. But I think that's the mystery of it, right? What is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Amos? He's not moving cars. He's doing a lot of strange things. He took something to his Jeep.
Can you pause it? Where does that individual appear to be now in the video?
Last I could tell, they might be by the Jeep Wrangler.
Before that person got to the Jeep Wrangler, was he standing by the vehicle on the far left? SUV or truck?
It appeared that way, but with the heavy whiteout snow that night, I can't tell exactly what they were doing.
Did you see anything in his hand, like a bag or a satchel or a duffel bag or something, when that person walked from this vehicle over to the
You
Jeep?
better say yes. We
I
all
did
saw
not
it.
notice, no.
Go ahead.
Let's watch it again.
Cool. You know what? I bet he stole all of the evidence cups, the evidence containers. He's a mastermind. Bro, what are you doing?
Now, has that person walked off screen to the left?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's outside for a long time in the cold.
Do you see that person entering screen from screen left?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so curious as to what he's opening all the cars up and doing because he's not moving them. Is that a shovel? Are you getting a shovel? Are you trying to go back and bury it?
What did you just
I'm
see the
just
person
kidding.
do?
I'm just kidding you.
They were carrying possibly like a snow broom, walking
Oh,
from left to right.
maybe I'm not kidding. A snow broom? I have never heard of that.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you have a tall car, like a van or something, to brush the snow off. Because some a-holes don't clean off the roofs, which are very dangerous. But you need a broom to do it, so.
Oh, okay. See, I have turned in my professional blizzard experience or car.
Like, we have a snow broom, which is just our broom. But
And what do you see happening now?
The Jeep Wrangler's leaving the spot it was parked in.
Well, he definitely didn't move cars,
Okay, we can take that
so
down.
he lied.
Oh, I'm sorry. I failed to ask you the time. I promised I would do it, and I forgot again. Can we look at the time real quick?
Yes, the time for the rear lot main side is 1:45:52,
And it appears that's the approximate time that the Jeep Wrangler drove off.
approximately, yes.
Okay, thank you.
oh, what was the time?
In 20,
See,
well,
some Coda knows what I'm talking about.
are you friends with Brian Higgins?
I am not.
Do you know Brian Higgins?
I know who he is, yes.
Have you ever socialized with Brian Higgins?
Like out on private time?
Go out, have a beer,
No.
see him at a bar. Hey, Brian, let's grab a beer. Nothing like that.
A private time?
How long have you known Mr. Higgins?
I'd be speculating. It's before this case. He was a law enforcement individual that worked in the area. So I've had cases where he assisted on and that I've assisted on.
Would you consider yourself to have a professional relationship with him?
I knew who he was, so yes, I would consider a professional relationship.
But you would not consider your relationship to have gone over to the personal relationship? You don't
Not at all.
socialize, do any
No.
private
No.
get-togethers?
No.
Okay. You would agree that this video pretty clearly shows, at least at one point, around
Hello,
1:34 a.m., Brian Higgins was on his phone.
Look who's back. Hi.
Is that the one that he has the device by his face?
Correct.
It appears that way, yes.
And just to be clear, when you interviewed Mr. Higgins, he did not volunteer to give you his phone, correct?
He did not volunteer it, no.
And you didn't seek his phone through a warrant or any other mechanism?
I did not know.
Oh, thanks. I forgot about the banners and stuff.
Do you have any personal knowledge as to the status of that phone as we sit here today?
The one that he got the extractions from?
Correct.
No idea, no.
I want to shift gears to another series of videos. Last year at another proceeding, you were asked about a couple of videos from the interior Sallyport garage at Canton PD. So now we're going to move to the interior. You remember those series of questions and answers that you gave?
Generally.
Okay. You were asked at another proceeding to describe when the SUV, Miss Reed's SUV, first arrived at the Sallyport garage around 5:30 or so, correct?
Based on my recollection of it first arriving or what we were viewing?
No, what you were viewing.
I'm objecting to this.
Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Do you remember being asked a series of questions concerning the arrival of the SUV, just in general?
I remember that it happened. I don't remember the exact questions, what my answers were.
And you remember seeing a video about which you were asked questions concerning the arrival of that SUV, pulling into the Sally Port, who was who, what the time frame was generally. Do you remember that colloquy, that discussion?
I remember
Use the
it taking
different word.
place, yes.
That was Mr. Lally asking you questions, correct?
I believe so.
Under questioning by the Commonwealth, you were asked whether the video that you were looking at fairly and accurately represented the SUV arriving at the Sally Port garage, correct?
Yes,
And you indicated, in fact, it did fairly and accurately depict the arrival of the SUV at the Sally Port garage. Is that right?
that's correct.
I'd like to ask you a question about that particular video. You have it,
It happens to all of us at our age.
may I approach?
Yes.
Dang it, smart water again.
I don't think they're going to be asking him to be their sponsor.
I don't think so.
Surprised they haven't sent him a cease and desist. Oh man, you ever wear a pair of pants and you're like, oof, I'm gonna have to change these when it's break time. Thanks for that. These are not great.
I didn't know we were supposed to wear pants today. I thought,
Well,
Jerry's, you know what? Let's take the luncheon break.
oh, for fuck's sake.
Thank you, Your Honor.
that is hella early.
And they have barely been in trial this morning, Terry.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Jeez.
They've barely been around. So that's super great.
So I'm thinking I'm right. We're going to have him Tuesday.
I think so too. I think so too. Live court is on lunch break. Court will resume. shortly. Yeah, but I need to know how long.
I wonder
Probably
if the
45
defense,
minutes.
I mean, I wonder if prosecution is regretting their decisions to bring him instead of Proctor.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm. But I wonder if they're going to have to call Higgins now to clear up the videos.
Video.
So I was keeping an eye on chat, right? So y'all said in the first, I'm going to put us, oh, wait, hold on. Doing a memento.
Do is have the voir dire right now to see what Sergeant Buchanan knew regarding that line of testimony you wanted to get into. So let's do that now, and then you can all work out the video issues.
It's lunch for everybody but us.
Yes. Okay.
Really a Bev, me too,
May I
girl.
inquire briefly?
Yes.
Thank you. Sergeant, we were talking before the jury left, we were talking a little bit about the conversation that you had with Michael Proctor either during or just before or just after that first interview with Chris and Julie Albert. What I'd like to ask you is, what information did you have and what did you ultimately learn about their relationship? You said there were some accusations and we never really got to the heart of it. What did you know and what did you do to investigate? Or what did you learn?
What I knew as we were walking up to the door is that he had knowledge of the individuals prior to us conducting the interview. I asked him if he knew them personally. My words, do you hang out with them? Do you socialize with them? He said, no, I do not. I said, are you comfortable doing this interview? And he said, yes. And me being a complete outsider and his supervisor, and realizing if there was any impropriety that I would step in and recognize it, report it, and act on that. The interview was conducted without issue, and we moved on.
As a matter of fact, one of the things in Trooper Proctor's report, it said, the report started with following formal introductions. Did that suggest to you that Trooper Proctor had no knowledge of who Chris or Julie Albert were from a personal standpoint?
Not at all. I believe maybe I wrote the report, or was it him?
I think it is you. I think it is
Yeah, so I,
you. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Just so you have it.
thank you. Yeah, since I authored the report, I wrote following formal introduction since I've never met them before.
Okay, so that was more attended to you than to Michael Proctor.
Correct.
Okay, but the report does say we introduced ourselves, basically. Following formal introductions.
Greeted, but I had formal introductions to them. I've never met them before in my life.
You said that subsequently you learned about, your word, accusations that had been made concerning possible relationship between Michael Proctor and the Alberts. What was that information that you learned?
When was it? I need that.
When did you learn it? I thought you said 2023, but I could be wrong. When did you learn that?
It was I believe, during the July motion proceedings when you guys had pictures up of children.
July of what year?
I believe 2023.
Okay. And what was it that you learned in July of 2023 about the potential?
The accusations?
Yeah.
That those were Albert's or McCabe's kids in the photograph with Michael Proctor?
Okay. Did you ever learn about personal communications that Michael Proctor or his wife may have had with any of the Albert family, including Julie Albert?
Ever?
Ever?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me when you learned that and what you learned in that order.
Well, Michael Proctor had communicated with those individuals, Elizabeth Proctor communicated with those individuals due to the harassment that they've sustained.
Okay.
So with the crazy behavior that's been imposed on them, and the torturous harassment that they've endured, the traumatic experiences they've had to live through, they've communicated. So I've learned about that, yes. I was taking in all of that evidence, hundreds and pieces of evidence that I've archived in order to
Go ahead. In order to?
investigate it.
Okay. You're talking about Elizabeth Proctor well after the fact of the interview and the incident in 2022. That's what you were just describing.
It was after the harassment
Okay.
started, yes.
Which is well after January 29, 2022.
We're still into the
right?
matrix.
January 20, yes, it is.
Okay. I'm asking about information related to a relationship prior to January 29, 2022. Did you ever learn about a pre-existing relationship that may have existed between the Proctor family and the Albert family before January 29, 2022, and maybe a couple of days after?
All I know is that there was a relationship explanation provided by Mr. Lally during one of the motions, and it was like 6 degrees separated by individuals residing in the community, living in the community, raising their kids in the community, working in the community, so making them community members and having relationship within that. I don't know the extent of those relationships.
Okay. Did you, during that hearing where you said there were pictures of the kids and et cetera, that July 2023 hearing, did you see a post, a Facebook post during the course of that hearing wherein the Albert family called the Proctor family their second family, or vice versa, where the Proctor family, Michael Proctor's mother, they've called the Alberts their second family? Remember that Facebook post?
I don't remember seeing that post. I just remember there were like a picture of kids that weren't Michael Proctor's kids.
Okay, but you were in court that day.
I was in court in July. I believe it was 23rd of July, yeah, for
Okay.
the motion, yeah.
Leaving aside the photographs that you've talked about, did you
That
see
he
the
remembered.
post, the Facebook post about those two families, specifically Michael Proctor's mom, saying that the Alberts were their, quote, second family?
I don't remember seeing that post.
That didn't strike you, or that was not in your brain, in your head?
I don't think I've ever seen a post like that, so I just remember seeing the post of the kids. I
What
believe
about,
it was Miss Little that was holding up the poster.
what about the text messages, or what about any text messages between Michael Proctor and his sister concerning Julie Albert, very specifically concerning Julie Albert? Are you aware of those?
No.
Have you ever seen a text message between Julie Albert, between Courtney Proctor and, it's Courtney Proctor and Michael Proctor, where the sister says, Julie wants to give you a gift because you're doing such a great job leading this, meaning this investigation? Are you aware of that?
No.
Are you aware of a text message in which Michael Proctor responds, get it for my wife? Meaning, if you're going to give us a gift, get the gift for my wife.
No idea.
Okay. Are you aware of a series of text messages between and among Michael Proctor and Elizabeth Proctor in which they talk about, between Michael Proctor and Courtney Proctor, in which they talk about Julie Albert? This is 10 days before the incident, 10 days before January 29th, so mid-January, where they talk about the possibility of Julie Albert babysitting for Michael Proctor and Elizabeth Proctor's kids.
I am not aware of those
Is
text
Julie
messages.
Jen's sister?
Of these text messages?
The text messages
Yeah.
that I'm describing, have you ever heard of any of those?
No.
Okay. Did you ever talk to or investigate the circumstance of the possibility, even the remote possibility, that Michael Proctor may have had a relationship with the Alberts that you were unaware of?
No, I never investigated.
Julie is Chris
into that.
Albert's
So
wife.
after your initial
Nicole
conversation with Mr. Proctor,
Colin's
where
mom.
he said,
Is Jen's
I know of these people, and you said, is there any issue with you going forward? And he said, no, there's no issue. You took no further steps after that to investigate that relationship. And I'm talking about the relationship that existed on or around January 29th, 2022, not in 2023, not in 2024.
Once Michael Proctor stated that he was comfortable conducting the interview, and I asked him if he was sure, and he said yes, we moved on.
Another trust me bro situation, as Bobby likes to say.
Yes.
Last questions. Were you in court? I know you're indicating that you've never heard about these text messages. Were you in court in February of 2024 following the federal investigation revelation, the documents that we got from both sides got from the federal investigation, which revealed, and was revealed in open court, the text messages about gift giving between Courtney Proctor and Michael Proctor? Hey, Julie wants to get you a gift, and Michael Proctor's response was, get it for Elizabeth, or get it for my wife. Were you in court when those were revealed?
Following the harassment, intimidation that I experienced on the 23rd, being followed into the bathroom, then being followed outside, I stopped coming to court proceedings due to that. So I was not in court in February of 2024 and describing the information that you're revealing. I was not aware of that detail.
But all of these proceedings are televised, Sergeant. You know that, right?
I'm not aware that it was televised, no.
Oh,
I know it's
fuck
streams,
you.
but
Get
I'm not
outta
aware that
here.
it's televised.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Whatever you want to call it. Streams on the internet, you can find it.
You can, yes.
They're recorded.
Right.
Did you ever review the hearing in February 2024 talking about what's been referred to as the Fed dump and the revelations that were made pursuant to that federal investigation and the text messages attendant thereto?
I am aware of a Fed dump. I'm aware that it exists. I was not privileged to any information outside of the information that was revealed to me during the internal affairs investigation.
Right.
That was the first time I saw documents from that federal investigation.
By the way, were you privy to, Michael, there were 3 individuals involved in the investigation, yourself, Lieutenant Tully, and Michael Proctor, is that right?
In what
The
investigation?
internal affairs investigation.
I'm aware that I was. I know they were as well. I don't know who else might have been involved. I don't know.
In terms of your awareness of Michael Proctor's investigation, you're aware, obviously, that he was terminated, correct?
I am aware that he's terminated, yes.
Did you ever see or were privy to
There it is,
any of
Terminator.
the documents or investigative materials associated with his termination as his supervisor?
No.
So nothing was ever shared with you, the final
Other
decision?
than the documents that he was attached in the text message that I was shown from that investigation, nobody showed me anything of his investigation.
Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Okay, that was basically all.
Okay, all right. Do you want to be heard, Mr. Jackson?
No.
Okay.
On that.
Yeah, I'm not letting any of this in.
I think it's all admissible, but I understand the court's ruling was if he doesn't have personal knowledge of it and didn't have it then you're not going to let it in. It's over our objection, but that's been noted.
Okay, so you got your voir dire, and I'm glad we fleshed it all out. So
She's not glad about
we
that
have
at
to be
all.
back here.
Yeah,
in
not at all.
35 minutes.
35
When's
minutes.
the jury coming back, Paul?
Move 20 up.
All right, be back here at 25 up. Ready to go.
All rise for the court,
Be
please.
back here at 25 after.
Okay. All right. Gosh, what a bunch of. Ah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know everything was televised. Whatever. Like, but you just
Please.
talked about being harassed. Why do you think you're being harassed? Because it's freaking everywhere, and you know that it's everywhere.
Oh, he knows. He was watching himself.
Is there a puppy butt in the background, Buffy?
Yes.
Oh, look at the little puppy butt.
She's hiding under my pillow.
Oh.
Very cute. Very cute. So I was wondering if she was going to let those questions anyway, because I thought they weren't allowed to talk about the Fed case. So I was like, I don't know if she's going to let any of this in because it's all about the Fed case. But I think he was asking to try to get
The Proctor the text.
yes,
in.
'cause
And
that
the
was the only
fact
way.
that there are pictures with the McCabe, like all of them together at a wedding and stuff like that. So yeah. it's gonna have to.
I think that's what he was attempting, but it didn't work.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to have to call Proctor. They've done a good job of making Proctor look bad. Like if we don't have to call him, so he doesn't have to look sad or pitiful or explain it away.
Ugh. I want him to bring him still, though, just so I can throw things at my screen at him. Well, guys, since we're going to be coming back with the jury very soon, in like 35 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead in this morning session, okay, while they're on lunch. We're going to redirect you all to Miss Terry, True Crime. Oh, no, I don't know how hands work. No. Anyway, her there. Anyway, oh, there you go, that way. We're going to redirect you to Terry True Crime, who's going to cover a couple midday missing cases. They're very good. So please stick with her. And then as soon as that's over, it'll bring you right back into our afternoon stream. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to click anything. We're doing all the heavy lifting. But we'll be back as soon as Terry's done. We'll go live here. We're not going to miss the jury coming back.
Nope.
Everything will be fine. And I'm sure we'll have a few minutes to discuss before they come back anyway. So everybody hold on to your butts. because we're going to end this, send you over there, and I will see you all in about 35 minutes. All right? Bye.
Bye.